Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the first episode of our 2024 Game of the Year Conversations. It's very exciting. But I'm here to put an immediate damper on that excitement because we had some technical difficulties during this recording of this first episode. Primarily, kind of towards the last third of the show, there was a issue where we use a bot in Discord to record our podcast. That bot just decided not to work, and it took us a second to realize that the bot wasn't working. So there's like a couple minutes missing of our conversation, particularly a kind of a cliffhanger jump off of a conversation there that is just gone into the ether. I stitched it together, but it was a lot of just banter, and it wasn't necessarily anything too much for our actual debates for the categories. So I'm just going to go ahead and ship it as is, but I'm sorry about that. In the following episodes, I'm actually recording this when we still have one more episode left to record. But in the other episodes up to this point, that has not been an issue. We'll be better about that in the future. Again, I apologize, but just wanted to make sure that was known. Is going to cut there. Just expect it. It's coming. I am sorry about it. It is not going to be an often thing. But with that being said, let's get into the episode. Hopefully you enjoy and stick around for the rest of the Game of the Year episodes. Thank you all for your support and enjoy the show. Adios.
I got that game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, of the year, yeah, game of the year, game of the year, game of
Welcome back to the episode of the Players Club podcast, and today we are here for a very, very special series of episodes because today is part one of VGU.TV's Game of the Year coverage. Let's go! I should have breathed more before I went for that long note.
What was that?
I don't know. I got excited. Oh boy!
You're slapping your belly on the microphone?
No, I was clapping. My belly is not that close. I actually, maybe the mic would. I don't know if that picked up. Anywho, let's go ahead and introduce all the people we have here to talk about these 5 categories we're talking about today. That first voice you heard was Graydon Webb. How you doing, Graydon?
I'm great. I'm happy to be back. I think is there a 5th annual?
I think so.
Sweet.
Yeah. Holy shit. God.
I'm excited.
I feel old. Oh boy. Oh man, there's a really cheap shot I could have made, but I'm gonna stop myself from making that cheap shot. So instead, I'm just gonna be very neutral and say, how you doing, Josh Miller?
Oh, I see how it is.
I said I didn't do it. I stopped myself.
It would have been an easy one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my favorite time of year, Game of the Year stuff. I love doing this stuff. Just warning for everybody, we are going through a winter storm here. So if I end up disappearing, it's probably because my power went out. So
Oh shit.
just to give you all a heads up on that.
That is no problem. We will absolutely work with you.
Oh my god, I just got a cheap shot joke. I get it.
Yeah.
I won't say it, but
Welcome.
that would have been good.
It absolutely would have been a great segue. But speaking of segues, let's roll on over on 2 wheels to the co-host of the Players Club podcast, Alan Muir. How you doing?
God.
Wait. One second.
Snake eater. I'm still in a dream. I can't sing. I can't do Cynthia Harrell's voice justice.
It's okay. It's the thought that counts, and I wouldn't have thought of that. I respect that a whole lot.
It's a
nice
callback
to have-
it's a callback I always reference.
Yeah.
Even
You
though
just
I was not part of VGO at the time.
Well, hey, we carry on the legacy. You got to start with one of those. What a thrill! You got to start with one of those first, and then just kind of slide in.
And if I somehow disappeared in this call, it's because I've been canceled.
All right, that reminds me. Rule number 1: there's a slur-free zone. No slurs, please. So yeah, that won't be necessary because today, I gotta be honest. I was looking through the categories we're talking about today. it's going to be. I think this episode is going to be pretty frictionless, pretty quick. We'll see towards the end of it. I see a lot of nominees for some of these categories, but we're going to whittle them down. So we have 5 categories we're going to talk about today, everybody. We're going to start with the what took you so long category, games we finally played in 2024. We're each bringing one to the table for that. These are just like, hey, here's each of our personal picks. We're also going to go talk about biggest gaming news, sponsored by Jeff Keighley. Top 3 news stories of the year. Zeitgeist of the year, sponsored by Baldur's Gate 3. The top 3 global phenomenons of the year as far as games go. Biggest fumble, sponsored by Starfield from last year. Best look, sponsored by Hi-Fi Rush. And that is all. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we're talking today. We have a lot of games to whittle down in some of these categories. So without too much further ado, let me double check on something. Now, I think this is the case. All the rest of you on this call, please remind me if I'm being stupid and don't remember. We are we whittling all these to a top 3? That is correct, right?
I think
Uh,
other than the what took so long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except for what took so long. Okay,
Yep.
good. Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh,
Graydon?
I'm sorry. No, I just said yep. Like
Oh,
yes, that is
okay.
that is what we do.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Mm.
All right, my bad, my bad. All right, in that case, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and whittle things on down. But first, we'll start at the very top. Now because this one is so easy, because this one is what took you so long. How we do that one is we each just bring a game to the forefront and just talk about how we finally played it this year. I will give folks, if they want to just give shout outs very quickly to other old games that they played this year that they also want to shout out. We're not going to sit here and rank them all, but if you want to talk about that right after you talk about your main game, feel free to. But when it comes to the main games, let's go ahead and start with Al, whose subtitle name I will not be saying because that is charged as hell. So, Al, what is the game that you played in 2024? What took you so long?
I finally managed to play and complete South Park: Stick of Truth.
Ooh, congratulations. I heard that game's
Funnily,
great.
so did I. Oh no, Stick of Truth. I finished Fractured But Whole. That's weird. What a year we had.
I tried to play I when we were talking about this on a before recording a Players Club, I had mentioned I think I brought it up, and I then after I finished Stick of Truth, tried Fractured, but the magic wasn't there.
Mm,
And I think it's because it wasn't Obsidian handling it.
damn. Who was handling it? Was it just like Ubisoft in Interior Studios?
Yeah, it was Ubisoft internal,
Yeah,
one of their internal studios. And
damn shame.
that's my subtitle for the I'm not that's not derogatory. That's because that was the class I played.
That is true. That is the class you played.
I played and just I played as a Jew because I am a Jew.
This is absolutely fair.
Fact.
You're right. You're right. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's just a class, so it's not actually charged, but it's also like, boy howdy. that's
No, it's like
South Park humor though.
Yeah. Also, I opened my my desk drawer, and I literally I have my Sidor in my right on top of my various game handhelds.
Oh, nice.
So just bring in the truth, bring in the facts to the arguments.
Hell yeah, keep that thing on you, as they say.
Yeah. So not only was this a very fun experience, but there's a little bit of disappointment because it didn't last. It wasn't as long as I expected it to be.
How long did it take you? Like 20-ish hours?
I think less. I think
Oh,
I think
wow.
it may have been like 10 or not 10, 12, somewhere between 12 and 15 hours.
Wow. God damn. It's next to nothing. Actually, okay, 12 to 15 hours is not next to nothing, but for Obsidian RPG, this is a good 5
Yeah.
hours less than I'd expect.
And God, my I was just amazed that they brought how they brought Chef back.
How did they bring Chef back? Was it some convoluted stuff, or was it just like, hey, here's Chef,
So
but it's a different voice?
okay,
Just fill them
no,
on
no,
now.
no, no. It's not. It's no. Okay, so I think Clyde ends up using the Nazi or the alien goo, in quotes,
Mhm.
to which turns people into Nazi zombies.
Mm.
And I think that's how I think that's how Chef comes back in the game.
Oh, okay. Huh.
And yeah, Chef comes back as a Nazi zombie, which is weird to say.
That's
Especially like,
hilarious.
it's yeah, that's a very South Park thing to do, like that's a very South Park joke to make. And like you're appealing, like you're trying to like break Chef out of like the being a Nazi, like being a Nazi zombie. And right as like as he's starting to like regain his humanity, he gets killed. Which I was Isaac Hayes alive at this point? So I know like this was long after he left the show because of the Scientology stuff. Because the
Wait,
game,
what? Yeah.
this game, like this was I want to say 2013. Like this is around like 2013ish, 2013, 2014. That era, that time period.
Hmm. Yeah, Isaac Hayes died in 2008, so this game came out
Really?
well after. Yeah, well after
Oh,
he died.
got it. Wow.
Yeah,
It was
he
like,
died.
yeah,
I think he died shortly after he quit South Park. Like they didn't kill him off because he died, but he left over problems with them, and then died shortly after.
I didn't know anything about the Scientology stuff. He left because the
Yeah.
people who make the show are Scientologists,
No.
No, they were like
They
anti-Scientology, that whole episode and everything.
and he's the
that yeah, that the episode where that they expose Scientology and literally just say that, but like as they're showing like the animation or the animated stuff, saying like this is like in very big text, like a ticker, like we are not kidding, that they actually believe in this.
That's hilarious. I did not know. I didn't even think Isaac Hayes was sympathetic to Scientologists, let
No,
alone was
yeah,
one. Good God.
yeah, and I also this game. I don't know if I'll play this game ever again, but this was the equivalent of when I think it was last year, or not, like 2023, when I got really obsessed with Doom for
Ah,
like the weekend, like the weekend of or the weekend that would have been E3, like
mhm.
the week period, like the week that E3 died officially,
Yeah.
where like I was just like I couldn't get enough of it. I just needed more Doom. And this year or last year was like I couldn't get enough of South Park: Stick of Truth. I needed more South Park. And
I
I
know
just,
that works.
even funnier, the achievement I unlocked on July 30th of last year, 2024.
Oh Lord, do I want to know?
Yeah, it's weird because only 16% of players have the achievement.
Hmm.
It's called "Are We Cool?" and the description is, "You found Jesus while playing as a Jew."
I love that. That's really good.
Yeah, like I
Found Jesus while playing as a Jew. Good God.
and then like yeah, I I'm mainly just talking about this. I'm just doing this, like talking about this just because like this sort of like, or kind of made me rediscover my appreciate, or me made me appreciate my, like the all the times I watched South Park and all that as a youth.
Hmm. Did it just like
And
increase those feelings, or did it like recontextualize anything?
no, it it made me feel better. Like it felt like going back to like an old dream.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's one of those things where you're expecting it's like I mean, I remember every like even like in the VGU online office, aka the Skype chat, like around the time of, like in the lead up to like the game, like South Park: Stick of Truth coming out, or like when they were the episodes leading it, like they were basically marketing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all like we were talking about. Like it was me, Adnan, Chris Cortez, Matt Mobley, just constantly talking about, just bringing up like the Game of Thrones stuff with the like Cardman leading like like in the forest, or the forest of betrayal or something.
Yeah, all that parody and whatnot.
Yeah, and I could go on for hours about South Park, but yeah,
And I'm sure there's a lot to talk about in that game. Well, I say I'm sure as if I've never touched it. I've played it for a couple hours, but you happen to make it through all of it, so good on you for that, Al.
yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I'm still just surprised. It's one of those. This is one of those things where this is one of those games where I consider it to be like akin to Life is Strange 1, where it's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, where it's like a magical experience that you wish you could, or that you associate with. If I could forget everything and re-experience it fresh, I would. So
Yeah, I feel that. Plus, it's such lightning in a bottle. It's hard to make it strike twice.
yeah,
However many years later it was when Fractured Butthole came out. So I can understand why that might not hit the same. But yeah, shout out to South Park.
I just want to add to that like Fractured Butthole definitely takes it in a different direction and gameplay wise and everything, but I think it still also holds up. The two DLCs for it are pretty cool too. But what doesn't
Casa
hold
Bonita.
up? What's that?
No, like especially the Casa Bonita.
Yeah, the Casa Bonita one and the camp one. And I wish that South Park had gone in this direction, that they had said when Stick of Truth came out, they were like, oh, we could just kind of, I mean, it was around the time they wanted to cancel the show, and they could just release a game as like a full season, because it was like a 12-hour game that serves as a season of South Park. But now they're doing all these specials, which like are kind of hit or miss. I feel people seem to like them, but it's just kind of weird what they're doing these days. But like then in the game space, that Snow Day came out this year and sucked.
Ugh. Yeah.
And was that 2024?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, it was.
Why is that not in Biggest Fumble? I'm bringing that back.
I can write it for you. I got it. I'll write it in if we could talk about that.
But yeah, it's just not like, for some reason they dropped the ball immensely, and it's sad because those first two games, I mean, Stick of Truth will definitely go down as a classic. But yeah, good times.
Good times indeed. Yeah, y'all are making me want to go back to that game, but goddamn it, I got too many other things to play. There's a game that I'm trying to play before we start talking about stuff in Game of the Year stuff. I'm trying to have it beat by the next time we talk. So, like, I got too much to touch right now. So,
I'm right there with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's me with everything. Like, that's me with Astrobot,
Yeah.
with Princess Peach Showtime, and I'm trying to make my way to Indica.
Indica, literally, you could probably beat that in one pretty long sitting. It's like less than 5 hours.
Within 2 days, you can do it and make that a priority. I'd say play that over the other two.
What about Open Roads?
Open Road? Yeah, no. Over
No.
Open Road.
I'll say there's one game I'm trying to play that isn't mentioned anywhere on our nominees right now. Because I might end up being the only one who plays it. So we'll see. I will say it is a potential Zeitgeist of the Year nominee, but I didn't put it on there because I don't think everyone's heard about it in a Zeitgeisty manner. But before we get all the way to that, let's stick over and let's get some water out of the well with Josh's pick, Lily's Well. I want to know what the hell this game is because both you and Graydon have some interesting picks here. So please tell me what the hell this game is.
Josh's
Okay,
pick is
well-
really cool.
Oh, have you played it?
While looking for my pick this year, we were playing some little like spooky indies and found this one and tried it out, but it was a bit too big brain needed for my patience.
Gotcha. Okay.
But please take it away.
So Lily's Well is a game that you can find for free on Steam. It is not very long. It has multiple playthroughs, and I think I finished most, if not all of them, within like an hour, hour and a half. It is an adventure game where you play as a girl who lives with her father in the woods. And one night he has to leave for work and basically tells her, stay inside, don't go out for any reason. It's too dark. Woods are dangerous, yada, yada, yada. Well, she's at home and she hears what sounds like a little girl crying for help from their well that's out in their yard. And so she disobeys her father and decides to go around their property and find different things that she can use to make a makeshift rope. So she can crawl down into the well and figure out what's going on. And that is basically the game. It's just you going around, finding little bits and pieces that you can make into a rope. Some are more durable than other pieces. And all that plays into what endings you get, because it also depends on how long of a rope you make. But I mean, it's really that simple. You just run around the world. It's only, I want to say, like 10 screens maybe. Finding rope, and then when you decide that you're going to actually go into the well, that's your no coming back point. You go down, and you will get whatever ending you get based on how much rope you get, how sturdy it is, and then what you find down in the well is not really what you were expecting. So yeah.
And the whole game kind of looks like that. What was that New Blood game? That
Faith.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it right now, and that's put together in my head.
Yep.
Boy, howdy. Yeah, this one is very lo-fi, very creepy by what you're telling me. But because it seems to be creepy on the face of it, it makes me think that what's at the bottom of the well is like a hug from a best friend or something. If it's something I'm not
No.
quite expecting.
No,
Okay.
it's not
Okay. Okay. Definitely not that. All right, there is a horror tag on this game on Steam. Yeah, this one's a strange one. How'd you find this? Do you just be searching through stuff, or were you watching a YouTuber or something?
No, I've heard about it for a couple of years. Usually around October, since I like spooky games, I try and find like recommendations. And people had mentioned Lily's Well online, and I had downloaded it, when I first caught on to it, and just never played it. And then this year with the Steam Deck, I was like, you know what? I'm sitting out in front of the boys' school. Let me try this game out. And yeah, I finished it up before I even made it home.
Wow. Damn, it's really short then. Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours. This is one sitting right here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. Yeah, I mean, it looks very interesting. I'm adding it to my library now because I want to see what the hell is up with it. And it's deck verified, so shout out to that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice, nice. And so, speaking of deck verification, I got a notification on Discord, but I don't know where it came from, so I'm just gonna leave that. And
Graydon
assume it's
has
not
to
from one
step
of you.
away for a second, so
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. In that case, yes. Well, are there any other I forgot to ask this for you too as well, Al, but I want to give y'all the opportunity. Were there any other old games that y'all got around to in 2024 that you want to give a quick shout out to?
Josh, after you.
um so the thing is that I had been keeping a list of games I've been playing just like in my notes and phone section of my phone. And during the summer, I accidentally took my phone into the pool
Oh
and
no.
lost all of that. So I
Oh,
can't exactly remember what all games I played this year from previous years. So yeah, I'm sure there are ones, but I can't remember which ones I played earlier this year and like the end of last year. So we'll just stick with Lily's Well.
damn. I mean, I guess that's fair. Um, I'll, I'm gonna
Since
insert
then, I moved
insert.
everything to backlog and just make different lists there.
All right, smart. Because I was about to say, hey, let me put you on, but you already know of the wonders of backlog, so no need for me to speak up.
Insert insert some weird connection between Lily's well and losing the phone in the pool.
Yeah, Lily's pool.
Ah, there. Boom.
I just needed a minute. I got you. I got you. Well then,
Yeah,
how about
actually-
you, Al?
Yeah, the one I've been playing, or the one that I've put a bunch of time into. I haven't I haven't finished it yet, but the game I put a lot of time into was ironically Saints Row.
Oh yeah, the reboot. You told me you were going
Yeah.
back to that.
Yeah, actually, I like it.
God damn. I'm really happy you do. It is a weird, strange one, but a good one that people should respect slightly more.
Yeah, I around the time when I still have it. I mean, I still have it on my hard drive. Like I still have it on my installed on my PC. But for some reason, I just decided to download that, or download Saints Row 2, 3, 4, Get Out of Hell, Agents of Mayhem, and the reboot. Because you just do these things once in a while.
Makes sense. Get the whole
Yeah,
Volition pack.
Yeah. So I ended up doing that, and it was weird. It's as if when people negatively talk about a game, it's almost like what one person experiences and feels about a game, another person could have an entirely different feeling or experience with the game and think quite differently than that first person who said that it's bad or it's disappointing or it's the buzzword that starts with a W that I'm really tired of.
Oh,
Mhm.
that took me a minute. As
This
in
is such
not
a
asleep.
novel realization, Alan. This is such a moment of clarity we're having.
Ironic that you say moment of clarity because I've been actually thinking about something like something completely different that like just brainstorming stuff about different ideas I had but it had to do with that's actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say that because I don't want anyone to steal that.
Yeah, I was about to say having a moment of clarity, just like the song, but I had to think about it. I was like, man, I think he's having a moment of clarity in court right now. Anywho,
Ooh,
Yeah,
Zed? Don't talk
no,
shit about Zed.
I'm not talking about Zed. I'm talking about Jay Z or Jay Z if you prefer.
Jay Zed.
uh, good lord. Well, speaking of things that probably have an exclamation point after it, Graydon, tell us about your game.
Oh my god. Mine does have an exclamation point. Is that what the segue is about?
That's the segue.
Wow.
That's all it is.
That was wacky.
Because you
So
don't say allegations, you say allegations.
I have a list that I kind of want to give shout outs to, but I'm nearly home, so I'll do that when I get there. But I will talk briefly about the game that I chose, which is called Play or Play or however you wish to pronounce said onomatopoeia. I want to say it's a free game on Steam.
It is free.
And yeah, and it's we don't know how we found it. Like I said, my fiance and I were going through games trying to find stuff. We're still in the middle of Still Wakes the Deep. That deep is still waking. But we found these like indie horror games on Steam. And one of them was Play. And it's not a horror game, but it's more of a walking simulator, if you will. And I feel like we gave that a new term a couple of years ago, and then I can't remember what we started calling them. But I just hate the term walking sim. But that's what it is, just so you can kind of get a visual of it. And it is
narrative exploration game.
Yeah, narrative exploration game. It still fits the bill. And yeah, you play as a guy who is burnt out, or a person who is burnt out on their life in general. I mean, it explores like their romantic relationships and their work, and I think they're trying to make a game, so it's kind of like meta in that regard. But it's heavily rooted in depression and the struggles that one goes through while trying to maintain their self-esteem, maintain their motivation, and kind of push out the badness in the world and see the good. Um, I remember talking about it when when I had played it. I talked about it with some of you, and I highly recommend it. However, I highly caution you, trigger warning on you know, depression and the things that can follow with that kind of topic. But
Hmm.
it's dark and it's poignant and it's short, and it had me really like, well, both of us were super like, glued to the screen, and it's just really cool how it does it. It does it in like a Stanley Parable type of way, where like you're just kind of wandering through these worlds that crumble and that breaks the fourth wall, and it does a lot of interesting things with like its physics engine to try to build this timeline of their life that you walk through. And yeah, it's a really cool game on the sorry, on the spectrum of indies, and just one of those like games for impact type of things that I wish would get more recognition. So in the realm of games that I played throughout the year, I decided to choose this one mainly because I figured it wasn't getting a lot of talk about it. I think it has a positive rating, and I don't know how many how many people have heard of this game, but
Oh,
yeah,
wait. So you wanted it? So you wanted it to get some more play in the Games for Impact space?
Mm.
That's good.
Thank
yeah,
you, thank you. I'll be here all week.
Holy hell. Matt, I
yeah,
didn't think of that.
yes. Questions, comments, concerns.
Oh, well, me looking at it, it looks like it's Stanley Parable in the way that it seems very meta.
Mhm.
And just looking at the trailer that they have on the Steam page, it looks like it's playing with a lot of different genres and perspective all at once. But then I scroll down, and the how long to beat stats is like 90 minutes.
Yeah, right.
So
There's no multiple endings in Stanley, like to make it Stanley Parable esque. It's a very cinematic experience in that regard, but it's just, I don't know. I really think it draws on the creators' experiences dealing with problems in relationships and with their work life, and it's just like in that way kind of like an autobiography in
mm,
terms of the game. And I just really like that. It actually, like, the more I'm thinking about it right now, I'm remembering moments where like the game talks to you. Like there's the game creator like has an audio track that comes in at certain points and like acknowledges the game breaking based upon their self-esteem breaking and stuff, and it's like it gets
huh.
really trippy and interesting. And I don't know, I thought it was a really cool, unique little experience that I was not expecting out of a game that I got for free, because I would have happily paid a little bit to get that if they tried to charge you for such an indie. But yeah, a nice little under the radar pick that I've been really wanting to talk about since I put this on the list. So I'm happy that I got the chance to.
Well, hell yeah. I'm impressed. Y'all got some really good deep picks. I once again, I'm not sure how y'all found those, even though you just explained it to me. I'm still surprised. But these are really cool, really innovative, kind of very outside of the box ideas. So I definitely want to try both of these. And the fact that they're free is a big bonus. So they're both in my Steam library already. So now it's on me to make the time. Um,
Can I throw out a couple now that I just pulled in, just a couple of the ones that I got to this year that I was happy with?
please. Make it happen, Captain.
I won't provide backstory on them, but I played a lot of games this year. I was very, very fortunate to do so and happy, proud of myself that I did so. But going down my list, ones from previous years that I enjoyed from playing this year: Twin Mirror, Lost and Random, Lake, finally played, RoboCop Rogue City, phenomenal. Let's
Hell
see,
yeah.
Asura's Wrath. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
Random.
Space Marine 1, I played and enjoyed. I mean, we've talked about how I played Sly Cooper, Shadow of the Colossus. Did I like those? Maybe. Who knows? Alan Wake changed my life. Uh, uh,
Good shit.
let's see. Was there anything else? Then I might have gotten to. Oh, extra shout out to Where the Heart Leads. If you have not played this fucking game, incredible. Briefly, I will just mention Where the Heart Leads. It's kind of isometric, slightly, not open world, but like vignettes of hub worlds.
Oh.
Super, super narrative driven. The whole thing is a guy gets lost in like a hole that shows up in his front yard, and he's then taken on a journey through his life, and from childhood to meeting his wife to having children to job opportunities and losing his parents, his friends, whatever. It's this incredible, incredible story of like just the changes and opportunities that come with life and what you decide to pick. Like there's so many choices and so much change to that narrative that it was like neck and neck if I was gonna uh choose this as my pick for this, because that is a game astounding. um I had to play it on PS5 and PS4 because it's not like anywhere else. Supposedly it's coming to Steam this year, but it's a couple years old, so I don't know why it didn't just launch on Steam. But if you get the chance to play that, awesome. Awesome, awesome. Also, I beat Last of Us 2.
Good job on The Last of Us 2. You know what? I'll say very quickly, very deflated on The Last of Us Part 2 these days.
Yeah.
I loved that game so much when it came out, and the more I had space to think about it, and the more I learned about some of the voices behind that game, I'm like, the things you're saying, I don't know if that's good commentary about the stuff that you're actually talking about.
Mhm.
But yeah, long story short, that it is what it is there. But would you be surprised to know that I've actually heard of Where the Heart Leads?
I would.
I
Who's
I
talking
I
about it?
I heard about it because like 3 years ago on PS I Love You XOXO, uh, Janet Garcia and Greg Miller are talking about how much they liked it, and they liked it so much that they just stayed after the show and did a spoiler cast about it.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I think it's this episode. Now, this is back when all the post shows were Patreon exclusive, so I don't think it's on this actual episode, but they talk about the game at the beginning and then they actually do a spoiler cast in the Patreon exclusive post show. If you care to go look that up, but
Yeah.
I'll share the episode. I'll put it in the doc, which I did not make a doc for this show. I'll just put it in the chat.
No, I'd love to see what other people thought about it because it didn't even have many like I like to when I'm playing games these days because who's got the time? I compare them to like YouTube Let's Plays and like see how far along I am. And there's only two, I think, Let's Plays of Where the Heart Leads.
Good
Like
God.
no one has tried to record this game or play it. There's one person who had multiple videos and one long play, and that's all I'm seeing. So it's like I don't know who played this game, but they should, because for someone like us who enjoy, narrative choice-driven games, it's right up our alley.
Say it sounds awesome, so I went ahead and added it to my wish list.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
It's long too. It's hefty. It's like it says 11 hours. I think that's long.
It's long for a game like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, I was about to say it's like an 85-hour epic. It's longer than
No,
Metaphor. But yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a really good pick, and I'm glad that all those games were able to touch you this year. Now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about mine real quick. But before I get to my main game that I'm gonna talk about, I'll give my quick shout outs right here at the top. Not gonna give any context except for maybe that second one right before number one. So here's my top 10 of what I've played from previous years. Marlowe Briggs and the Mask of Death, number 10. Moon Scars, which I didn't end up beating, but really enjoyed. Sifu, also didn't end up beating, but really enjoyed. Definitely want to come back to that as well. Elderborn, really enjoyed that one. Proteus, it's Doom, but modern. It's good. Uh, Dynamite Cop, one of two games that I beat this year that came out. Oh shit, I forgot. I could have had Quake 2 on here. All right, replace Spider-Man 2 with Quake 2. You're about to hear about Spider-Man 2 soon, but I would replace those. Dynamite Cop is a game that came out before the year 2000. That was a New Year's resolution of mine. I wanted to play a game or beat a game that came out before the year 2000. Did that with Dynamite Cop and Quake 2. After that, Thymesia. It is more accessible, Souls-like, Sekiro-like type game. It's really good. Spider-Man 2, it's good, but it's more just fun to play rather than the story being good. So I'd replace it with Quake 2, which is the same, but at least it's historically relevant. Um, and then number 2, the one I actually want to talk about a little bit, God Hand. God Hand is great.
I was waiting to hear you talk about this one.
Oh my God. God Hand is one of those games, like, people know me. I love my platinum games. I love my crazy action games. I love my ridiculous action in all types of mediums. But God Hand is like, whenever you go to the arcade and it's like those quick time events where it's like you got to slap the button a bunch of times to like win a mini game, or you have to like jiggle the joystick a million times to win a mini game. That is like the entire gameplay philosophy of God Hand, where every single action in that game is like the most waggly, the most button pressy, the most just intense, repetitive action thing of all time. And that's kind of what makes it fun. They keep the atmosphere light and the tone light the entire time so that it feels like you're just playing an arcade experience, but it's arcade in a way that feels very pure rather than just like, hey, it's Doom. You got points. You shot them and they blow up into colors. Like, it's arcadey, not just in the aesthetics. It's arcadey in all of its DNA. So yeah, God Hand is incredible. It definitely, it makes me want to go back and play Beautiful Joe, which I've never played Beautiful Joe. And the Okami sequel that just got announced makes me want to go back and finally check that off the list too. So I got a lot more Clover to play. I got a lot more old games to play. But number one is Grime. Grime is incredible. Now there's going to be a pretty big caveat depending on who you are, that I'll get to at the end. But I'll get the good stuff out the way first. Grime is an incredible Metroidvania. I started playing it on Google Stadia back in the day because it released on there exclusively, and then Stadia died, so then it got released everywhere else. Picked it up on Steam Deck, started it all over again. And for a good like month and a half, it was my obsession. It was all I could think about, all I wanted to play. It is a Metroidvania that doesn't give you a double jump until the last like hour of the game. Which is something another game that actually came out this year does, but this was my first experience with the Metroidvania doing that, so it was just as impressive. um it is about platforming. It is about, I wouldn't say puzzle solving, but the platforming itself is like, all right, I first you're figuring out, what do I do? There's a lot of situations where it's like a gauntlet where it's, you have to do these actions back to back to back, or else you'll fall out of the sweet spot, or you'll miss your jump opportunity or something. There's a lot of tight windows, and then if you miss it, you go all the way back to the beginning, and now you have to keep that sustained constant, like, all right, I gotta hit this jump, now I gotta teleport over here, now I gotta do this, now I gotta do that, and do it all perfectly for like 3 uninterrupted minutes of concentration. That is so difficult, but it is so satisfying once you actually do it. And it's also a Souls like, so weighted combat, you got your stamina meter and everything, but the health system is what's really impressive about it, because you earn charges by getting parries on enemies. And the parry window isn't very tight. It doesn't work by, oh, you wait for the split second they hit and then you trigger it. You basically open up like an orb, and while that orb is out, if someone hits you while that orb is out, then that counts as a parry, and you can slowly over the course of the game increase how long that orb is out. But it just makes for a gameplay system that is fun to execute. And then because parries are like built into the entire framework of the game, not only are you parrying enemies, but every time you parry certain different enemy types, you get different abilities from each of those enemy types, and it kind of helps build out the skill tree. Um, Bosses, you have to parry every single boss in the game, or there's like an alternate way where it's like, hey, you don't have to parry them, you can just dodge. But if you do parry them, there's like an extra bonus thing that happens. Even the final boss of the game, you don't kill them by swinging your axe or your sword or one of the other dozens and dozens of weapons. You have to parry their attacks to destroy their hands, and then they're just a stump. And then you can finally, like, once they try to headbutt you as a stump, you parry that, and then they're done. It's very satisfying. I don't want to call myself Perry Poppy because that name has already been given to someone else we know. But I love parries in games. So this is like, I love Metroidvanias. Parry mechanics are some of my favorite mechanics in all of combat. And I've been getting more and more into Souls likes, and this is a really good one. Grime is immediately top 100 games of all time for me. Probably like top 20 potentially. Top 50 for sure. Top 50 for sure.
Wow. I was gonna
Yeah,
say this sounds like an Emmett game.
It is incredible. It is really, really good. I have literally no problems with the actual game, but I've been vocal this entire year and even beforehand about how much I'm, how Palestine should be free and should not be getting bombarded by the imperialist worlds that we live in. But yeah, Grimes a game straight out of Israel. So that definitely had me conflicted once I saw that after beating the whole game. But I have to just be real. It's a great game. So take with that information as you will. I know there is a Grime 2 coming out. I'm also excited for that. But it's a little bit morally for me, but the game itself I can't deny. I can't deny the quality of the game itself. So yeah, shout out to Grime. One of the best Metroidvanias ever played.
That's awesome.
Indeed. And so yeah, that's all for the first category. What took so long? Sorry, that category took so long. But it was fun talking about all these games. So without no further ado, we're gonna go on to the first actual ranked category that we're gonna have to argue about. Biggest gaming news, sponsored by Jeff Keighley, the top 3 news stories of the year. Of course, we're whittling this list down to 3, and then we're gonna put them in a rank. So let's read out our nominees. Xboxes, 360s, putting games on PlayStation and Nintendo, all of the Microsoft layoffs, Game Pass increases and changes. Pal World, using Nintendo or Pokemon assets and getting sued by Nintendo / the Pokemon Company. Yuzu sued by Nintendo and having to pay $2.4 million, and Yuzu and Citra both shutting down as emulators. Gamergate 2 on the rise. Sweet Baby Inc. making games quote unquote woke, leading to harassment from loser man babies. I like how that one's written. PlayStation requires sign in for Helldivers 2 on PC and sparks of movement. Dr. Disrespect's 2020 Twitch ban was revealed to be because he was texting a minor and planned to meet up at TwitchCon, allegedly. And Concord was revealed, released, and delisted, and Firewalk closed, all in less than 5 months. I'd also add the 2024 Game Awards. Just all of it. And by that I mean all the announcements. I think it's fair for all of us to say that this year's Game Awards was like an absurdly good Game Awards as far as the announcements go only.
But then you had the Erd Tree drama.
Oh well, the Erd Tree drama is the awards. That's people having problems with the people that they have on the jury being mushy about what qualifies as a game or not. But as far as like the announcements, I don't think anyone was disappointed with all the things that were announced there. To the point where it felt like, hey, this is like Year of Dreams type shit. Look, this is the time for us to argue about it. Now that we've read them all, I don't think anyone else has another story to add. Um, I'm not even gonna look at the Game Awards one right now. The first thing I want to do is what I think everyone else might agree with, but tell me, should we go ahead and make Concord number one?
I mean, I
That
think it's a uh, no pun intended, a game changer. In terms
Hmm.
of like that's a historical event we all lived through. There will never be another thing like that.
Mhm.
Just an event, a game that failed so fucking miserably that everything fell apart instantly. That was the
I
shortest
heavily
launch,
recommend.
right? Was it a month it was live or not even? 2 weeks.
Less than, yeah, like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Jesus.
I heavily recommend watching Big Boss's video on Concord.
Boss.
It is, yeah, it's someone else.
It's very
It'll make you.
depressing.
It's very depressing. It was because that's how it felt watching the going through it.
All right, Big Boss's video. I'll try and check that out later on. But yeah, I feel like that Concord thing is just unprecedented for them to spend hundreds of millions of dollars or $100 million and a half on this one game, only for them to put it out. And here's the thing: if you're gonna put that much money into something, at least like let it be out for a couple months. Let's see if we can like boost it up. Let's try our emergency tactics, because there has to be a plan where, oh, it doesn't sell a lot, well, we'll put it on PlayStation Plus, we'll put it free on Epic Game Store, we'll do things to get a player base going. And the game itself wasn't bad. I think that's the thing everyone agreed on. The game itself was not bad. It was just not better or really all that unique from other games in its genre and ilk.
But
And
then
And they
so,
made you pay for it too, right?
wait, say again?
And then they made you pay for it too. Wasn't it like a $40
Yeah,
game?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
it. Yeah, it was $40 at launch, which is something that I think was a big slight against it. But even that, like, you didn't try to make it free to play or like try to
Mhm.
adapt that market or try to adapt that I don't know, monetization style. There's just so many
It's
things they could
also
have tried.
weird that that's secret level episode
Mm.
exists of that about like focus on that like if that the secret level episode kind of like outlasted Concord.
Not only that, like, it's one thing for the game to be shut down where that episode premieres. The studio
Yeah, but
didn't exist by the time that episode
yeah,
premiered.
yeah.
That is it's absolutely fucking crazy. It's so it just shows that like for I think this Concord story is big, not just because, oh, look at this game and look how fast it deteriorated, but it's the fact that there were ways forward. Like, if a more competent company, and we were just talking about Saints Row the reboot, if a more competent company was in charge of Volition, or if Volition was just by themselves without having to worry about a parent company, a game like Saints Row doesn't end you. It doesn't. You release it and now the studio's closed. That's not how that works in a normal world. Same thing for Concord. That's their first game. A game like Concord is not bad enough, not low enough quality to destroy a whole studio. But because of how it's set up, where PlayStation is like, hey, we put $100 million in this thing. If we're not getting $1 million in the first hour, fuck this. And that's what they did. They just destroyed it immediately. And it's just unreasonable. So not only is it just impressive just how fast Concord withered away, it's emblematic of like the larger trends in the gaming industry where the biggest companies over everything are the ones that are like pulling the plug on things, showing no patience, wanting immediate return on investment, and it's killing us. It's killing the individual people who are trying to make the games. So yeah, that's why I want to highlight it. I already got it underlined. I don't think anyone's gonna fight me on that though, right?
Nope, I think it belongs.
Yeah, I think so too. Um, one thing I want to, I think this is a big story but I kind of want to delete it just because I don't want to legitimize the movement. I want to delete
Oh,
the Gamergate too.
no. The thing is, I wanted to add to it that, like most sequels, it was a major disappointment
Okay, it withered
because
out. Yeah.
yeah, because like um, Alyssa Mercante,
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff she was going through, like being targeted by a bunch of these people, and ironically, some of these people were alleged Amico stands.
Oh my God, not the Tommy Tallarikians.
Yeah, it got to a point where, and I'm glad it happened. She got a lawyer, and one of the main people that was harassing her had to set up a GoFundMe to fund the lawsuit.
Hell yeah, that's how things should go.
Yeah,
You fuck around, you talk
find
shit, you
out.
get shot. Yeah, you fuck around, and you find out. But I couldn't think of that, so I said talk shit, get shot. But yeah, I do think that's good. I do think
And
it is true that Gamergate 2, quote unquote, kind of fizzled out into a nothing burger.
yeah, and if anything, it's just shows how. Like I was watching a video earlier today about like a critique of all those um, modern games suck now.
Oh yeah, one of those videos.
What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Did you rejoin on PC or something?
Yeah, I changed my mic.
Okay, no worries.
Ah,
Yeah, I got you. You're good.
okay. Um, yeah, the whole thing was like not necessarily like or not really like saying that like yes, there's problems with the games industry, but most of it is just people who were making the modern gaming sucks. It was better 10 years ago. Like these like this cut this gate this, these cutscenes are 14 years, 15 years, 10 years apart. It's like a lot some cases yes, it's justified, but in other cases it's just no. You're just being lazy by not engaging with the different games and like different games out there. And I was watching another video which says everything about me that
I'd be watching videos too. I feel you.
I'm actually I want to share this because I think Emmett you would enjoy it.
Okay.
About the I think it was the stuff going on with Avowed with
Yeah.
pronouns. Pronouns. Sorry, had to.
We're back at this.
Yeah.
Not the pronoun debate.
Yeah, the they thems. Like me.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to say in Saints Row as well. I was watching a video essay about the lack of really good non-binary options and a lot of character creators in games, and they held up Saints Row the reboot as one of the few games where it's like, hey, they don't make things in like a binary way. You can kind of just be whatever you want. You can put your voice wherever you want, put your body however you want, and just really get interchangeable with it. So shout out to that. But
Yeah.
yeah, these other games ain't quite.
Yeah, like or said like videos was by I want to say Crimes New Roman.
Crimes New Roman is incredible. That is a good name.
Yeah, that really is. It's called modern video or quote modern video games suck end quote. And
Yep.
it's just the thumbnail is just
A bunch
like
of black and white thumbnails of other people's modern games suck videos.
yeah saying we were robbed. Games suck now. Just then like the picture of Asmongold. I don't know.
Yeah. That's one thing. Can we put Asmongold on biggest flop? No, I'm kidding. That would imply that I had expectations. So never mind. I do think the Gamergate 2 thing, just that topic overall, is a big deal just because we had to hear about it so much. But I think its actual cultural impact, there isn't much there. I think it's just a lot of people getting mad about some misinformation, but I
Yeah,
don't
and,
want to.
and that,
Yeah.
that's actually like that's in the video. Like that's in the video by Crimes New Roman.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like it's actually a very pretty funny scene. Or like mention just I like the video was just like, or the B, like the part of them gonna bring up is someone talking about, or someone talking over, or it was Asmongold talking over, or not even talking over, not barely doing any reaction content, just watching the video of someone else reacting to a like a review, like a preview slash review video that was very, very like positive, and it was like pointing out that because of how buried the original positive, more positive video was, that that a
That they're
woman was,
responding to.
yeah, that there was someone, that some, I don't know who the creator was, but the female creator was making like making was criticizing it because of Bible stuff. I don't know. And then Asmongold just like watching it, like just doing the Harrison Ford, or the Indiana Jones Last Crusade thing, where like he's like scratching his chin, and like just like, and just watching it, like not even saying anything, just
It's just washing through in one ear out the other.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how a lot of people are gathering their news about stuff like this, where it's just, hey, I'm watching a guy react to a different. I'm watching a guy react to a guy who's reacting to a different guy, and so that
Yeah.
information is just parsed 3 different ways to Sunday before it even gets to your face. So yeah, I don't know.
We
We'll
spent way
hold.
too much time. We spent way too much time talking about this than it deserves.
Yeah, I would definitely not hold. We'll put it on the side right now. I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah.
I think I do want to delete the Doctor Disrespect one.
Yeah. Yeah. That one. No. That one is just. Yeah.
Yeah. All due respect, I understand that is like
Yeah.
it was a hanging, it was a cliffhanger from a previous season that finally got wrapped up, but ultimately it ain't shit. um, I do think a Nintendo one should be on here. For me, I'm leaning towards the emulation one.
Yeah. As am I, because I actually didn't know about the Citra one, and I don't know what I do, what I should do now, because I still have. Never mind. Never mind. I didn't say anything. I said nothing.
Hey, look, y- nothing on the internet really dies. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's
Um,
plenty of options out there.
Exactamundo.
Oh god, just got a big whiff of no one's ever really gone.
Oh boy. But yeah, I think that Yuzu story is definitely very important, and it shook a lot of the emulation community, even outside of Nintendo, a whole lot. So I think that one's kind of important. Um, I would like to delete the Helldivers 2 one. Oh, it
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
actually, um, I
mhm.
think that was like pretty sure that like there's also some intertwined stuff, like interconnected stuff with that and Concord,
Mm,
because the
Because
PlayStation
yeah,
because of the sign in stuff. Concord, like the areas, like because the
fewer countries
PlayStation,
could play it.
yeah, fewer support, or fewer, yeah,
Mhm.
support in certain countries.
Yeah, I think that is big because it literally, for the Helldivers 2 specifically, it literally locked out like what 40 some odd countries from being able to play the game that could have played it before they put that implementation in. Um, I do think it's a big deal, but it also
Yeah,
feels like everyone kind of moved on.
yeah, but
Where it,
then
Mhm.
didn't that, like, someone got fired over from that, right? Or because of that?
A guy
Or
got
was that
fired. Someone at what's the developer name?
Sparks?
Is it Sparks? Oh, no, no, no. Sparks Movement is just like it sparked a movement.
Oh,
Who what's the whoever it is? I wanna say
it's
Housemark. I know it's not Housemark.
no, it's the
Um,
hell. It was the Helldivers dev.
yeah, the Helldivers dev. Someone at that team said on, like, Reddit or Twitter or something, they were like, "Hey, we know you're upset about the fact that PlayStation's implementing this. We can't do anything about it. If you want to get through to PlayStation, then he didn't say this directly, but he effectively said, if you want PlayStation to give a shit about this, use the only tool you have, which is Steam reviews. And then it got fucking ultimate like uncrazy negative reviews, and
Got review nuked.
yeah, it got nuked in the reviews, and that guy got fired for basically putting that idea out there for people. Um, so yeah, I think that's kind of massive and just puts a shiner on PlayStation's year, but I don't. I just don't think it was like all that massive in the grand scheme. Really, the ones I'm looking towards is the Xbox one, all the Microsoft stuff going on, the Nintendo suing Yuzu, and Concord. Those are my three for me.
Those would be mine.
Mine too.
Oh, Graydon, you in the same boat? Potentially. Oh wait, I think Graydon might have had to step out.
Yeah, I don't think he's back yet.
Okay, yeah, that was just a minute ago. No worries. In that case, we're gonna talk as if these are the three right now. And then we'll sort them as we go along. But for me, I think now y'all tell me if I'm
What-
wrong in what do y'all think the order should be?
I would personally do Concord, Xbox, Nintendo.
I'm feeling that. Because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the Xbox stuff had layoffs and whatnot in it too. I think that makes it way more impactful.
And I feel like the Nintendo suing emulator companies and stuff, it's kind of just more part of the course for them, which sucks.
This
It
could
is
just be
part of the
me.
course, but it wasn't up to this point,
Yeah.
I still think it'd be a good idea to like not like have like the Power World stories, the Power World story, and the Helldivers 2 story, just to like as like an addition thing.
like on the side somewhere.
Yeah, as like this, as like not or not 100% connected, but like still related to like each one, like Power World being the one related to the Nintendo lost like litigation stuff, and then the Helldivers 2 stuff having somewhat some effect on Concord. But then again,
I feel like
the Gamergate 2 stuff is also had an effect on Concord.
It did, but I think people didn't care about Concord before they revealed that all their characters are woke.
Yeah.
I think people didn't want to play that game fundamentally for what it was and who it was coming from. They no one wanted to watch a PlayStation State of Play and see a fucking squad based shooter. I don't think anyone wanted that. Whether or not every character could have looked like Nathan Drake and it still would have gotten the reception it did. In fact, it might have been worse. But yeah, you could stretch the PlayStation 1 into being included in the Concord story, but really it's just like, hey, PlayStation had a hit or miss year for multiplayer games, and that's what that headline would be when the real headline is Concord. Same thing for Power World, where that is crazy, but the Power World one felt like, okay, that's so close to being Pokemon-y that it would be a surprise if Nintendo didn't say something. Where the emulation stuff feels like they've been doing their thing for so long, and for them to come in and just put a lawsuit down like this so severe, that feels extra. Like has always been crazy with their lawyers, but that felt mean and unnecessary in a way that I understand them trying to protect their IP when it comes to Power World. So, different sorts, different folks. But Graydon, I wanted to check with you. How do you feel about the ranking right now for the top 3 stories? Just the ones we have underlined. If you're back, I checked earlier. I think.
He went off mute, but I wonder if maybe the mic's not working.
Might not be working. Graydon, we'll wait patiently to hear from you, but it seems like the rest of us are down with this list. I'm gonna give a little bit of time to make sure we're locking it in.
Testing.
There we go.
There
Hi.
you are.
Howdy, Graydon.
Okay. Yeah, so you have Concord, you have Xbox 360s putting games on. Okay.
Basically, them changing their entire corporate structure of the Xbox business platform and laying off a bunch of people in the process.
Yeah. I think every year when we have this one, we really kind of narrow it down to like excuse me, the most important ones. And I like what you said. Oh man, excuse me again. About like not legitimizing the Gamergate one because
Mhm.
fuck that. Anybody who gets mad about that is a fucking pussy. Frankly, there's no place for you in gaming. So
They are
I
fucking
think
pussy because they're not fucking pussy.
exclusively pussy. Anyway, um
Well, they're incels in the LGBTQ community. That's a wild thing to say. All right, let's just continue.
we yeah, I like what we got. I think that they're all good ones to shine a light on because they're important. Oh my
Okay.
god, the mass deletion I just watched.
Oh yeah, I had that shit
Right,
highlighted. I was ready. I was like, we about to run through these categories. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen and MBs, we have your winners for the best gaming news sponsored by Jeff Keighley. At number 3, you have Yuzu sued by Nintendo. At number 2, you have Xbox's 360s. And at number 1, Concord's reveal, release, and delisting in less than 5 months. And studio closure in less than 5 months. Wild year. Not the best year for news. All these things are either, I'll say number 2 is like half positive. Because it is always a good thing for exclusives to be on other platforms, just objectively for us, the consumer. That's always a good thing.
I do want to say I think it's interesting how the sponsored by of last year was Jeff Keighley because of how bad the Game Awards were. And then we nominated how good the Game Awards were this year. So that's something.
I'll say yes, you're right, but I will also say for the Keighley thing, one thing I want to say, I think how much we love the Game Awards this year is because we've come to just accept what it is. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people were like, I think a lot of people last year stopped looking at the Game Awards as any type of legitimate like temperature check for what quality games are, and are now looking at the BAFTAs, the DICE Awards, and the more, you know, the awards that are voted by the people who actually make games. Those are what people are caring about now. Where the Game Awards, we just come to watch some cool announcements and, you know, maybe one of our favorite games of the year that is AAA usually gets a award, and that's it. I think we all know the context now, and now we just haven't been that upset. And also, he came with the announcement so much. Who won best racing game anyway? Exactly. So it is what it is there.
True.
But yeah, speaking of some Zeitgeist worthy announcements, let's go ahead and talk about the Zeitgeist of the year, sponsored by Baldur's Gate 3. These are the top 3 titles that seem to have the biggest talk and wave around them, the most excitement overall. Here are your nominees: Democracy in Helldivers 2, Lethal Company, Balatro, Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erd Tree, Pal World, Black Myth Wukong, TCG Shop Simulator, Marvel Rivals, and I know exactly what you meant by this. Someone just wrote Luigi. And look, I agree. If I was living in a world completely by my own rules, Zeitgeist of the year would go to Luigi. And I say that not just as a joke, but also like, yeah, that's like legitimately the Zeitgeist of the year. That story
no,
versus all these.
it was mainly the period, the brief like bit on social media, like that meme. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was when Nintendo sees Luigi's trending versus then when they learn the reason why.
Come on. Hopefully this year will be another year of Luigi. Um, Wild to say. But yeah, if I could point out some, here's the thing. I want to add one on here, but I know it's not going to be top 3. So I'm just going to shout it out. Astrobot, I think
No,
absolutely
add
deserving.
it.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
get
I'll
rid of
delete
Luigi.
Luigi. Yeah. Deleted Luigi, added Astrobot. Now,
Or
I'm going to
free Luigi, added Astrobot.
free Luigi. You know,
I
fun
wish I
fact,
knew what you
actually.
guys were talking about. I have no idea what Luigi thing
Oh,
Good.
is.
dude.
Good.
Okay, say his last name. I'll say
Luigi
this.
Yeah.
Mario? What?
There's a young man by the name of Luigi who did an act of class solidarity.
Oh, that dude. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, I got you now.
I think it's good that I explained it like that and you knew what I meant. I think that's a great sign.
I was
For
gonna
the
say I don't
world.
think I've been on social media since that happened, and so video.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's like, bro. Even the people in prison are like, "Yo, we got him." They gave him a fade and shit. It's
And
crazy.
the craziest thing is everyone everyone loves him, and the women love him
Thurston.
even more.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I was watching a comedian saying that just talking about the whole thing, and it was just the only way they could get a somewhat not not good photo of him was having get him just to get him to say something and then take the photo mid speak while he's making
Yeah.
a face or something. It
And he's still
things
hot.
yeah.
Oh god. So yeah,
Like,
shout out to that guy. I'm tell you right now,
You got-
next year is sponsored by Luigi.
Wait, we nominated him for Zeitgeist of the Year?
That was a
I did.
Zeitgeist. Yeah, he was on there originally before Astrobot.
That's brilliant. Game of the Year.
Actually, game of the year because he broke the rules of the game. He Stanley Parable that shit. Anywho, or actually, that's the
No,
beginner's
speedrun.
guide.
Speedrunner of the year.
Yeah, speedrun. Yeah, he no clipped through that motherfucker. Anywho.
Oh my god.
Okay, we got it.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. So here are my legitimate choices for the category at hand. Zeitgeist of the year. I think Balatro's on there for sure.
Yep.
I think shit. I think it's Balatro, Helldivers, and Pal World.
Balatro and Helldivers are definitely two ones I would suggest. The third one I could kind of leave open.
Yeah, I can see an argument also for Wukong, just because Wukong felt like such a this is the biggest thing, and Wukong felt like it was big against my will. If I'm gonna be honest,
Wukong, I would say, because I don't think we're gonna be able to nominate it in anything. Like, we didn't really play it. Did any of us touch that game?
I didn't want
Emmett?
to touch that game. No,
I was gonna say, if anyone did, I think it would be you.
went straight to me.
No, honestly, I would have bought it, but Emmett told me not to.
Look,
It looks good, and people loved it. Like, it was the pick for Game of the Year. Like, people wanted that thing to win.
yeah, the people's choice. Yeah. It's not that I think it's a bad game, and it's not that people are wrong to like it. I just think that there's two types of people that I think like that game. They are either people living in China who those fables and those stories are like a fundamental part of their culture. So to see it portrayed in this AAA fidelity is very impactful for them and very important for them. There's those people, and that alone is tens of millions of people. And then you have people over here who are just like, "Oh, it was pretty," and 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 the boss fight was fun. Give it game of the year, and just don't really have any like connection to it other than just it's a big pretty game that did all the stuff I expect a big pretty game to do. Um, because of that, that's why I've kind of been hating on it. But I don't want to hate on it too much because I understand that there is potential for a big cultural connection for a non-negligible amount of people. So that's why I've been down on it. That's why I kind of want to give it Zeitgeist, but I feel like half that Zeitgeist is for reasons I don't want to acknowledge. And even if I did underline it, I think that's a number 3 at most for me. I'm gonna underline it. I think I can
I'd-
also underline Power World maybe.
I'd rather have it than Pal World because Pal World was really polarizing in terms of. I mean, I guess it's just Zeitgeist. It's just what got the people talking, and it
Mhm.
wasn't good most of Pal World. So,
So
like,
can I just quickly just say what my like in all seriousness what my 3 would be?
Please,
oh, I
please.
know what you're gonna pick.
I know one of them.
Do you?
Absolutely.
You think you know me? Think you know me?
I guess.
That was for Josh. That was for Josh.
I gotcha.
Because
All
on this day I see clearly. Marvel Rivals. God, I can't speak
Ah.
today.
Okay. Marvel Rivals.
TCG Shop Sim
All right, that's the one I thought you were gonna pick.
and Astrobot.
Wow. Astro.
I despite buying Balatro twice, I suck at it.
See, I didn't even buy it because I knew I would. I don't do card games.
Same here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people
Yeah, it's weird
talk
how
about
I can.
cards get mad.
Okay, Mr.
It's weird.
Inscription.
I don't know shit about poker. People kept comparing it to poker, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, there's a difference between a game that uses cards and the hands of cards, the specific cards in a deck of cards. I think
It's
that's
very
a
user
massive-
friendly. But I think we'd be ridiculous, not to cut off Alan, but I think we'd be ridiculous to not choose Balatro. That game has taken the
Yeah,
fucking world by storm.
Yeah.
I think
And
Balatro's
anyone who does touch it ends up loving it, even if they don't really care. Like, I think if either of you tried it, you'd find something about it that would make you be like, all right, one more game.
Okay.
In Balatro's defense, I was playing it on my Steam Deck while doing my leg treatments, and to be fair, when that happens, I get very drowsy. So I may not have been giving the game all the faith I should have. So, yeah, maybe we should do. It'd be a great Zeitgeist.
Which one?
Steam Deck OLED.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The Steam Deck Zeitgeist was last year. But I agree with that. Steam Deck is good. I think Balatro is a clear number 1. I think now that I've added Astrobot, I kind of am sympathetic to putting it on there just because even if it wasn't the biggest thing, it was loved by everyone who touched it in the same way that Balatro was. Astrobot just wasn't on your phone.
Okay, so that's just insight to the listeners. The last time the 4 of us were on a call together, it had to do with stuff that obviously is old news by this point when we were deciding on the site change or on the layout, like the facelift on for the website.
Hopefully y'all enjoy
Which
that.
again,
Looks nice.
It's incredible.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
I mentioned that I was going to try Astrobot, or I was going to go like as I was heading off the call. I said I'm going to go try Astrobot because I put in maybe barely any time. I basically got to the main screen and just turned off my PS5. And no. This is before.
Oh, okay.
I then started playing it. Oh my god, that game is so precious. I want to also there's like all the love in that game towards PlayStation. Like it made me remember why it made me love. I feel more affectionately towards that game than I do the previous game.
I feel that.
Like not only does it build upon like everything from a gameplay like stance, it built upon it in a player engagement stance.
Okay. made it more fun to actually play.
Yeah, it made me feel more like positive towards the game.
Well, I'll be damned. Yeah, it's definitely expertly designed, and that's kind of why I want to put it on here. But I feel like the reason I want to put Astrobot on here is the same reason I want to put Marvel Rivals on here. Or Marvel Rivals just seem designed for people to like it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Yeah,
it's
because
like let's
like
take the most well-known characters in the world. Let's give them the flashiest art style possible. Let's make it free to play multiplayer and be very generous with all the microtransactions. Boom, bam, bow.
and give Venom all the cake.
Yeah, shit. Have you seen Squirrel Girl though? Like,
Ooh.
look, there's a great British Bake Off happening in that fucking roster. All right, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, I think I don't know. I've already said my three: Helldivers, Balatro, and shit. What was the other one I said? Power Worlds was me. Graydon, you seem like you're against Power World, but what are your top three? Oh, someone's watching Noah Caldwell Gervais.
Sorry, did you say me?
It's okay. Yes. I
Okay.
love Noah though.
So you want to pick my top three?
Yeah, what's your top three?
Balatro,
Check.
Helldivers,
Checkaroo.
and I really think I gotta say Wukong. Like I want to say Astrobot, but I really think Wukong was such a bigger like movement of people getting excited, and it was so loud that I just really think that that's like we will give Astrobot its due because we played it, but Wukong, the world gave it its due, and that's why it's a Zeitgeist.
I'll say there's only one game on this list that I was asked about at work, and it is Wukong. So, the people in the Publix distribution center definitely have something to say about Wukong. Josh, are you feeling similarly, or would you say those are your top three? Or you want to switch it around?
I'll be fine with those three as long as Balatro's number one.
Yeah, I think Balatro's number one with a bullet. Al? I know right now it looks like, look, TCG Shop, it did blow up a lot this year, but I think it blew up because it kind of is like as a reaction to Pokemon kind of blowing up during the pandemic. And now that we're waning from the pandemic, I think something like TCG Shop, the trading card game simulator, I think that game is kind of like, I don't know, just popping off because of that shared cultural impact. But I don't know. I just don't think it holds a candle to Balatro or Helldivers or Black Myth Wukong. Sorry to say.
You know what? That is fair. Because I actually should have put it, like, I'm not putting it on it, I'm going to put this on here now. But the true Zeitgeist was not TCG Shop Sim, but the mobile, the Pokemon trading card game.
Yep.
Yeah. Because that's all I'm seeing.
That would have been a good one.
That would have been a good
that
one.
Pokemon game. But I think
the thing is, I ended up buying a bunch more Pokemon cards like IRL.
Just because of the mobile game. I respect that.
No, because of TCG Sim.
Oh, well, shit. God damn.
Yeah. It's not doing its job. It's supposed to stop me from buying the expensive cardboard, but no.
Hey, video games, they reflect real life.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna drop Power World because no one's gonna fight for me on Power World. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. It seems like, look, a lot of people played that game as soon as it came out, but it was gone as soon as it left, and it's still a lot of people's game of the year, but just didn't hit like that. I think Dragon's Dogma 2 was a big deal because it was polarizing, which I think is interesting, but not enough to keep it on this list. And Lethal Company, I feel Lethal Company is a Zeitgeist in the same way that Helldivers 2 was, but Helldivers 2 was just bigger.
Yeah. People stuck with Helldivers. I mean, people might have stuck with Lethal Company. I've seen some videos here and there, but it is just one of those things like Helldivers was the Among Us of the year, whereas Lethal Company was the Apex Legends.
I would say that's different because Among Us, who's playing Among Us right now except for very small children versus Apex still has a lot of
horrible bigots.
On Among Us?
Fix your shit, Inner Sloth.
Oh, okay. There's just a bad people on the servers. I thought they had
Yeah,
like a
honestly-
reputation.
No, this has to do with the video that Graydon recorded.
Okay. That makes sense. Because for a second I was like, what did Intersoft do?
What do you mean about my video?
Didn't you?
All right, we're back at it. So yeah, your
I
number.
can't believe I can't believe Dolphin Spider-Man showed up. I mean,
Good God. All right, that's a good one. All right, so biggest fumble. Your top 3. You have Concord. What was the next one?
Life is Strange Double Exposure.
Life is Strange Double Exposure. Okay.
And rounding it out, Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection.
Thank God.
Okay. You look,
God.
let me say it like this. Because I'm gonna make you breathe easy right now, Graydon. I don't think Star Wars Outlaws is going to be in the top 3 for biggest fumble. And I feel like that because it is a Ubisoft open world game. We didn't have that high of expectations for it.
True.
And so
No, I did.
You thought it was going to be game of the year caliber.
Yeah, because
Ubisoft does that every year?
no, because the previous game by Massive was that Avatar game, which I really enjoyed.
Oh, okay.
And it was using the same engine. Yes, it was Massive.
That was so recently.
No pun intended. Yeah,
It might
They
not be
made
the
Division,
same team.
right?
Yeah, Division 2
yeah.
and 1 and yeah. It can't be the same team though. There's no fucking way.
No.
It's the same dev, but they gotta do the Insomniac thing where they got 2 teams or something.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'm pretty. Yeah, because there's DLC there's still like support for that Avatar Frontiers Pandora game.
Mm-hmm.
It's still got a
But-
DLC coming, I think.
Yep, one more is on the way, I believe.
Yeah. There's one. Yeah, one is already out.
I didn't buy that on Black Friday. I should have. It was $20.
I didn't because
I-
I was like, I'm not gonna play this in 2 years, and it'll be $10. So let me not play it right
It's a good way of thinking.
now. Mhm.
I own that game 3 times over.
Jesus Christ, Alan!
Ow!
You
You gotta
The thing is,
You
New Year's
need to leave.
get out of the line.
Oh boy, we got to take you to game purchasing rehab. In the meantime, Josh, what are your top 3 out of this biggest fumble category?
Well, I have no horse in this race, so I'm just gonna pick Life is Strange. It's weird seeing Black Ops 6 on here, so I'm gonna pick that. And
I was
then
gonna fucking
Concord.
delete that. Oh, who? Okay. Graydon, is this you with the Black Ops 6?
My 3 are Black Ops 6.
Oh, you baby back bitch.
Fuck that stupid game.
Ugh. No. You know what? You want? Okay, keep going.
Black Ops 6 ruined a legacy, and I will not.
Ooh. Oh no.
Damn. I don't want to jump on the Life is Strange bandwagon. I can't judge that fucking game. And I know Alan says that they're not going to talk about it really because, what's been said is said, and we still got to indie book club it. We're not going to do it very, very much here. But I can't judge that thing by the
you haven't
crowd.
played it yet.
Right. And I don't want to judge it by the crowd. I just
I'm
feel like
about
there's
to.
got to be.
You can
Gotta
do it
be
because I'm gonna
people
do
on
it.
No.
That's the only reason I picked it.
I'm surprised
Yep.
no one picked Kill the Justice League. Did we not have any kind of expectations for that? Is that what it is?
That was my reason for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it first got announced, we were excited about it, but then the closer we got to it, the more it was evident that
So, like, by release, you weren't excited, and that's kind of what you go with.
exactly.
All
Let me
right.
actually. I have a good way to frame it of how unimportant it is or it was. When the game got delayed the first time, we were recording the one of the video of Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because I remember Emmett saying, I remember you saying, like as we were doing the practice stuff, like in the practice mode, just making the content. You're like, or you gave us you gave an update like as if it was like 60 minutes. Oh, and and Suicide Squad got delayed to 2021, which is that's so funny. It's just, I don't know if it's
Oh,
funny
you're
and like
you're saying the beta we were playing.
the
Yeah.
beta.
Oh
Beta
dear
footage, yeah.
God! It got delayed to 2021.
That's what, yeah, and
God.
that's how long ago it was. Yeah,
So then we kind of dropped expectations.
Exactly.
yeah.
So we had 3 years to prepare ourselves for disappointment.
Well,
And
I mean, a delayed game doesn't always mean bad, but we might have dropped the expectations when it got delayed again to 2024.
and also
Yeah.
when they had to refund, not refund, when they had to, like, when the whole thing happened, when people who got the super expensive version had already completed the game because of a bug.
Yeah,
That,
like skip them.
yeah, it like gave them all their awards for completing the story. My problem with I have my problems with my problem with Life is Strange that I'll get to in the Indie Book Club by the time you're listening to this, it's been recorded.
Potentially.
Concord is a historical case that has to be studied, like it's the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Truth.
See,
And
yeah.
no, I'll just say that the Battlefront Class Collection is a problem that has been consistent and emblematic with Aspire's toward work.
Yeah. They don't make work to aspire to.
Shit.
The big remember, like, when we had, was it 2 years ago when we gave the Switch the biggest fumble?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that was Bayonetta 3 year, right?
that was crazy.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah, it was also like, and just this says a lot. Not only was that was just an example of how things, like, of that year, or just how things have been since then. The second place of the biggest fumble back then was, or
Old Republic.
that year. It was KOTOR 2, the Switch version, because
Oh,
Yeah.
they not only did they falsely market the game as having the restored content patch or content mod, like, integrated into the game. It got delayed and then announced as being canceled, which was the main reason mostly everyone, or most of the people who bought it to get that officially inserted into the game and not have to go through the PCs. And the PC stuff was easy. The Steam stuff is easier. But the Battlefront Classic Collection did a worse handling of that type of feature, where they took mod work, like modification work that someone else, like a user, made way back when, and didn't credit them. Didn't, like I know it's like, if like with licensed game stuff, it's a wormhole, like, it's a black hole of, like,
licenses
credit, licenses and credit and everything. But Aspire has been doing this ever since the KOTOR remake.
And later on this year, they did release a decent game with the Bounty Hunter remake, or not remake, just re-release.
Remaster, yeah. And
remastered.
they did a similar thing with this Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remasters.
So, like, we know that they can do a good job when they want
It's
to.
just that, yeah, when they want to, and a lot of time, and most of these are just cheap cash grabs,
And
they're putting in not even the bare minimum, effort.
Here's how I'm kind of thinking of it for this entire list here, because my 3, I wanted to be spiteful and put Star Wars Outlaws on here because Black Ops 6 doesn't deserve to be on here either. But I'm gonna keep it realistic in the interest of time. Star Wars Battlefront, Concord, and Life is Strange Double Exposure. And I'll explain very quickly why, because I thought of analogies for all these. Concord.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just one big thing I forgot to mention.
Oh, please.
The Battlefront Classic Collection issue, like
Go
that.
ahead.
So not only did like a lot of people were excited for this. You'd think that a game that is going to be played online would have good servers or
More
like good
than
server
a
and
single
more.
digit number of servers.
Yeah, yeah, and nope, Can't Aspire couldn't even do that.
Three.
Yeah,
64-man servers.
and if you if you couldn't get in, too bad.
Wow.
Not even 200 players could have played on launch day. And
And the
tens
thing
of
is,
thousands of people were there.
yeah, more people bought that game than more people play that game or try to play that game than own Concord.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Like, and this isn't me picking on Concord. Concord had like if this was like 10, 12 years, if this is like 2020 or 2013, 2015, Concord, like Concord could have bounced back or like in the era of Overwatch, like the early Overwatch era, Concord could have had a chance to bounce back and right the wrongs and right the ship, and would be had every chance. Could have pivoted to be a single player game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in a just world, Concord could have done what Wayfinder did last year, where Wayfinder came out as an MMO and servers weren't working and no one was having it. Everyone was mad. So then they went back to the drawing board, came back. It is now a single player action game that you can play in co-op, and it seems to have it's very well received now in its current form. Concord could have done something like that if there was a company behind it that gave a shit about it, and they did not give a shit about it. So here's how I look at all these. I feel like Concord is a game where our expectations were low. It's not like we were thinking Concord was going to be the greatest thing in the world. Concord is like you're going to Chili's, and it's like Chili's isn't like gourmet, but it's it's not McDonald's. It's pretty good, and so that's what you're expecting. And then you
I'm
go
expecting
there.
Wendy's. Just saying.
If you're expecting Wendy's when you walk into a Chili's, that's a problem.
No.
I get what you mean. That's what you meant by
They have burgers there.
They do. Now they do. Wait, no, they have it at Applebee's. Chili's always had burgers, I believe. But yeah, for Concord, it just felt like, all right, I'm going to Chili's. I know it's not gonna be crazy, but I'll have some decent food, some decent times. And then the store closes before they even bring the food out. No, they brought the appetizer out, and that's it. And then the store just turned the lights off on you. That's what Concord feels like. Life is Strange Double Exposure, because True Colors, everyone loved True Colors. Everyone thought True Colors was great, and a lot of people liked what's the other one, the Chloe exclusive one from back in the day,
Before the Storm.
Before the Storm. A lot of people liked Before the Storm. Not everyone, but it was generally positive. And
Can I just briefly say, people love True Colors in hindsight. Back when I was singing that game's praises, ain't nobody was loving that game. Really? No one talked about it. Everyone was all like, and I know y'all out there will be like, oh, no, we always loved it. No, you didn't. Because you were, I'm not saying you two. I'm saying like the fandom. The fandom was like, oh, this isn't Max. This isn't, like, everybody just doesn't even talk about season 2 as it is, which arguably kind of my favorite. But True Colors, like, it was good. It was always good. Did I review that game, or did I just do the Let's Play that never went up?
I think Alex reviewed that game.
Oh yeah, Alex did that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, I just, I don't know. It was good, and nobody really cared.
Ironically, I was going to, like, I'm still planning. I'm probably gonna try to do it at some point. I still want to do a look back and just think and just try to see if I was like wrong in how I treated that game. It, like, before, like, everything leading up to the point in the final chapter where I seem to turn on the game.
Oh boy. There's still time to do that, and perhaps that's something we can revisit when we're playing Double Exposure. But Double Exposure, from the outside looking in, because I've not yet played it, it looked like a game that was just a slam dunk. It looked like it was, something slightly more upscale. Think
Oh,
like, give
can
me
I
a
just?
restaurant that's slightly more upscale.
No. I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say there's like to if it'd be possible to link Alex's channel,
Link
like
Alex
YouTube
TV.
channel, yeah, and his YouTube channel, because
Oh yeah.
Lanky Dragoon on YouTube.
Indeed. Lanky Dragoon. I will put that in the chat as well so I can remember. But yeah.
And
Mhm.
no, sorry, it's just no, I just saw one of his thumbnails that was like George like of Ara History Untold, and it's just George Washington saying, "I took that personally."
That's right. Good God.
That
That's a
is
good bit.
perfect.
I love that. That's some good shit. But yeah, no, I feel like I took that personally. That's insane. I looked at
Yeah.
it right after you said that. But yeah, I just feel like before the storm, or not before the storm. Life is Strange, this year's iteration of Life is Strange. Double Exposure. I feel like that is like comfort food. That's like your grandma's home cooking, where you come home to be like, oh man, I can't wait. I know grandma puts the love in it. She put her foot in it. I know it's gonna be good. It's gonna taste just like grandma used to make. And then you try
Wait,
it,
she put
and
what in it?
that's an expression that people of my hue use.
No. I mean, like I didn't actually like hear. I didn't
Oh,
hear
put your
the
foot in
last
it.
part.
Like
Okay, that's
when
it.
you put your foot in it.
Okay, like you're putting like in effort.
Yeah, you're putting your effort. Yeah.
Okay.
The modern iteration might be I put my whole pussy in that one.
Oh, geez.
I've
Oh.
heard that. I've heard that in many instances. It's weird. It's wild to hear that, but I've heard it
Yeah.
several times.
Yeah, I use that one regularly.
Hey, welcome.
It's an East Coast dialect.
Yeah. Oh boy,
Like
shout out
how
to the East.
like how in the West Coast or on the West Coast, Hella is the thing popularized by Life is Strange.
Bingo bango, indeed. So yeah, Double Exposure just feels like, oh, this is grandma's home cooking. Then you bite down and it's like something store-bought, like whatever they make in the fucking Ingles deli. It's like, oh, what the
So
hell is this?
the one thing I saw, like I kept seeing, was like the one I saw one like example phrase that, or you saying that that Double Exposure was the creative, like it was the creative director's fanfic, which from what I played makes sense,
Damn.
and not just because of like plot stuff, but like even like lore stuff. And I'm gonna have to. I think I'm just gonna have to start writing a whole page of notes of like for that indie book club special, because oh god.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to Life is Strange, but the last one I want to kind of put my my eyes to, Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. I think we all knew that even if it worked completely, Star Wars Battlefront wouldn't have been Game of the Year. It wouldn't have been even the best multiplayer game released this year. It was already like, if at its height, it was only going to be so much. I think if you're ever in that mood where you're like, all right, I'm not going to go to McDonald's, but I'm going to go to like Hardee's or like, I don't know, Zaxby's or like just
What
one of
the
those
fuck is that?
Hardee's or Zaxby's. You don't have those up there?
No.
No.
God
Have
damn.
Hardee's.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
Hardee's.
We had a Carl's Jr. up here, like in
That's it.
my area or
That's
in my
it.
area. Hey, how do you think I feel? We lost Pizza Hut. We lost the Papa John's. We lost
You
all the
don't
shitty
need
pizza.
either of those.
Somebody
You don't
else
want
eat
any
Pizza
shitty
Hut.
pizza.
Oh man.
Alan has White Castle and
Think of a
Checkers.
Checkers is the opposite of where I'm going. I need a fast food restaurant that's like, if you got a combo, it'd be like $15.
You doing
Like-
Mad Libs?
I'm
Bell.
this whole thing started because I had metaphors to use into
I
these
know,
things.
I know.
And
I'm sorry. It's just my hunger got the better of me.
I need an
understand.
adverb and the name of a business that went bankrupt in 2008.
Okay. Well, think like
Oh, jeez,
think
that's
like
my
the
town.
Applebee's burgers or something like that. Just something like a really like a slightly more higher class burger where it's not McDonald's, it's not a McDouble, but it's like, something substantial, something with some meat on its bones.
Five Guys.
Yeah, Five Guys is perfect. You're getting some Five Guys. You're like, I'm excited for these fucking buns and all this stuff. I can't wait to eat this Five Guys.
Hell
And
yeah.
then it combusts in your hands before you even get to eat it. Because that thing, it opened up, it would run. And as soon as you try to like connect online, no. So that's why I think those three are the ones that should win: Star Wars Battlefront, Concord, and Life is Strange. I think those are our three. I think Suicide Squad, of course, is a disappointment. And South Park Snow Day, I don't think we had expectations to begin with. But
Snow Day was a disappointment in terms of like basically the same
was a-
reason for Kill the Justice League. It's like, oh, it was a Rocksteady game. We thought it would be good, and then we saw it. Like it was a South Park sequel. We thought it would be good, and then we saw it.
well, that's
So-
the IP, not the developer. So that's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Also-
IP can jump around. But yeah, go ahead.
With South Park, I maintain that the best part of that game is the opening cinematic
Of Snow Day,
because of Snow Day. Yeah, because it's oddly wholesome, but like considering it's South Park and like with Suicide Squad, Kill Justice League, you have like the pedigree of Rocksteady, but you kind of have the feeling of like it was eventually going to happen because of Warner Brothers, just being the worst.
Yeah.
Whereas Snow Day was one of the it still remains like a baffling like how this get made.
Mm-hmm. Snow Day just felt like, hey, we're THQ Nordic. We want to do something with this IP, or someone else had an idea for a game and then they were able to slap the IP on it. Because it does feel very weird for like, hey, South Park, you did so well using your actual art style from your actual show. How about we fuck all that up and go back to 3D like it's fucking N64?
I was watching Game Ranks, like worst of 2024, and that was the exact almost the exact phrase. Like, what if what if like it was trying to instead of instead of trying to chase the show, it chased the N64 games.
Yeah, which is a wild thing to do. And I almost kind of respect it, but not enough to not shit on it. But I don't think it gets on this list.
I hope Matt McMuscles does a what happened on it.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure that's coming at some point in the future. But I think our three are Star Wars, Concord, and Life is Strange. But before I delete Black Ops 6, because fuck that, Graydon, why the fuck do you think this is even justified?
I feel like we talked about it, but maybe
Stealth.
not. So yeah, I mean, the 4 stealth segments are shit. But man, it goes all wrong, man. Like putting zombies in the main campaign is just some cucked bullshit. It should not exist. And I've heard that from other people as well, which is like, so I'm not crazy on that. It's just a disjointed mess, and I really don't like the stealth really got to me. I'm trying to remember what made me stop it. I hated the base building. Like,
wow,
just all of it kind of was
fuck?
ass. And like for a game that like I don't want to. It's hard to critique Call of Duty because you end up
It's a juggernaut.
You end up sounding like someone who just complains about wokeness, and you're like, well, I just want my dude bro action thing. But at the end of the day, I kind of just want my dude bro action thing. And
Graydon, I've got a great game for you.
What's that?
Rage 2.
No. Wildlands.
Honestly, yeah, Wildlands. If you want some actual military shit,
What,
yeah.
Ghost Recon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been thinking about playing that because I hear
Yeah,
that it's very good.
it is. It is. I played it. I haven't
can
played it
also
recently.
vouch.
I played it like 5 years ago.
But I just want cinematic action. I want really cool things. I mean, honestly,
Actually, you know what? A more recent game I think you'd be into, Body Cam.
yeah, I do want to play that too.
Well, that's purely multiplayer. I think you want some cinematic moments as well.
I want cinematic stuff. I want like the I
You want
in terms of
Imagine Dragons playing while you're doing this,
I
while you're
do.
shooting up?
There has
I
never been
do.
Imagine Dragons playing in any Call of Duty game. Do not put that on us.
No, but you know what there was? Rolling Stones. And there
Yeah.
was fucking like there was so many cool, memorable, iconic scenes from our youth that was like just awesome
I
stuff.
mean,
And like it was the total package of great multiplayer, the great zombies, and the great campaigns. And now they're so bloated with nonsense that I don't care for the multiplayer. I don't care for the
wait.
zombies. I don't care for the campaign.
That's crazy.
Wait.
Multiplayer is so simplified this year.
The multiplayer is
What?
fine this year. Yeah. What's up?
Wait. What? Okay, when you just say like when you go back to saying like it's like the childhood stuff.
Yeah.
Which game are you talking about?
Well, Black Ops 1 is for one. I mean, Black Ops 1 is one of my favorite games, like top 5 favorite games hands down. And that
geez.
campaign what?
No, my childhood my childhood game like that was of all things, or not, it was Medal of Honor Underground.
No, I mean, Medal of Honor Rising Sun, like my dad and I played together, and I loved it. And then, like, I mean, Medal of Honor, sure, got me into that. And then there was World at War, and like, you just all of that 2000s. Like, as much as we want to hate on that culture and the people that multiplayer genre really like bred like the worst of children, the campaigns is what I lived for. I mean, I buy Call of Duty every year to play the campaigns. I want awesome stories because I know they exist out there. There's quite a few Call of Duties that had really compelling stories from start to finish with really iconic cinematic moments.
There is a fucking Ocean's 11 heist in Black Ops 6. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's just so monotonous, dude.
It's so cool. Fuck you.
I
can't believe this.
I can't, Josh. I can't believe Graydon and Emmett killed each other.
My God.
Just you and me running a website, bud.
This is insane. I sincerely can't. It's to the point where like I'm having trouble like understanding how you can come to these conclusions. Not about it's like I love those old Call of Duty games as well. I was a big fan of those, played all of them as well. I have trouble understanding how what we have now is being seen as so inferior. I can understand it not being quite your speed for you to be like, oh, this is ass. That seems crazy. But I will say, I think they go for variety a lot more in Black Ops 6 when it comes to the single player campaign. They go for variety a lot, and that can they have enough narrative wiggle room there to where their biggest, craziest swings can be understood as like just some hallucinations, some stuff that doesn't actually canon happen in the world, just stuff that's happening in people's minds. For me, that was good enough because similar to how, hey, this is the Game Awards. I'm not going to expect them to let people have genuine moments when they win an award. I'm here for the announcements. Call of Duty, I am not here for a story to make sense, for everything to fit together cohesively as a narrative. I am here for cool shit. And cool shit means sometimes you jump the shark a little bit. Cool shit means sometimes I don't shoot my gun and you show me cool. Like they literally had like narrative puzzles in Call of Duty where you had to remember the conversation you had with a different guy and then talk to a different guy, remembering those things, and then you get quizzed on them pretty much. That was so cool to me that Call of Duty was doing that.
Like you're talking. You're talking about in World War II, right?
No, I'm talking about Black Ops 6.
I'm
I know
pretty
what you're
sure.
talking about in World War II. That
Yeah,
also happened
yeah,
where you got a fake profile that you had to like stick to your cover and whatnot. But in Black
yeah.
Ops 6, you're also undercover in a different mission, and there's no notebook or anything. You just talk to a guy, and then you go to a different guy, and you have to talk with that information in your head. And there's no like, oh, here's your note page to remember. No, you just got to remember that shit. And if you don't remember that shit, you either fail or you're locked out of that option, and you have to use one of the other 2 or 3 options around to get to that same objective. It's incredible.
But that's just not. And as shitty as this is going to sound,
That's not
that
what
is
COD is.
not Call of Duty to me. And that's
And
the
I
thing.
get
It's
it.
like I heard people say that like this is Call of Duty for like not Call of Duty fans, but then it's not Call of Duty for Call of Duty fans, and that's what irritates me. Is it's like I had a similar experience with was it Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5? One of those felt like this is not
Mhm.
right. Like this just ain't it. And I worry about my fun with the franchise going further. Like if certain people like you like this, okay, I'm glad you'll still have games coming. But I think that my time with Call of Duty may be done if this is what keeps coming out. Cuz this is not my Call of Duty. I'm a old ass man. I've graduated from it, and I just but like I said, I feel horrible saying that because I feel like that puts me in the category with the people who are complaining about like female protagonists and
You want
I
something simple, which isn't bad. It's just that's
I
what
just
those
want
games have
bang
been.
bang shoot shoot drive around boom boom. Like I want to shut my mind off, and I know that it's like all fucking military propaganda, but like it always is. And
Yeah.
it's just like fine, let's have the escapism for a 5-hour campaign of just cool shit going on, because that's what made me enjoy the characters, the events. Like it was just cool. And I feel like this was more like I don't know, a
I'll
spy thriller with zombies in it.
I'll say this, and we really got to move on to the next category. So I'll say this, and then we'll drop it. Um, I feel like that the desire to just have a shooter that is just shoot stuff and do cool action has been overly served by the indie scene right now. Not in a way where they should stop, but just like if you're looking for that experience, that exists in to such an extensive degree right now to where you can easily get that. And also, Call of Duty will always be Call of Duty where it counts, which is in the multiplayer. That experience will fundamentally never change. So when these designers are making the exact same game every couple years, they're going to try and innovate and do new things and challenge themselves in any way they can. And often that's going to be in a single player campaign. So, you know, you're only going to get a traditional campaign if they're like stretched for time. That's why you got Modern Warfare 3. That's how you got Call of Duty Ghost. You get a traditional campaign when you don't have time to think outside the box. But these developers are going to just inherently want to think outside the box. So if that's the case, then hey, let me show you this wonderful world of boomer shooters. Because all they do is shoot.
But
Yeah.
Emmett,
And they're all good. Yes.
how do they look?
Ugly as
Mm.
fuck. Actually, ugly as fuck is strong, but they're not gonna look at the same fidelity as Call of Duty. But even then,
segue?
oh my fucking god, I'm stupid. That was great. That was great. Well, hey, before we get to that category, I'll just announce the winners. And we didn't even talk about the organization of it, but I think everyone's good with that organization. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just
All right. All right. All right.
yeah.
I'm just gonna read it and then we'll go on to the next one. Biggest fumble. Your winners are Life is Strange Double Exposure #3, Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection #2, Concord #1. Best look. Let's get to it finally. Sponsored by Hi-Fi Rush. Top 3 best graphics /animation /visuals
I love
in
Hi-Fi
games. Shout out to Hi-Fi Rush. I need to play that fucking game.
Rush.
Here are your nominees: Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, The Plucky Squire, Crow Country, Tales of Kanzura, Zhao, Harold Halibut, #Blood, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Stellar Blade, Still Wakes the Deep, Shim, Jude 2.
Jutaro.
Oh, Jutaro. Okay.
I think it
Jude.
was an auto-corrected Jude. Should be Jutaro.
I think I might
got
have
you.
got. Okay, you
No,
got it.
no, yeah.
So Jutaro, Kumitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Astrobot, Indica, Fantasian Neo Dimension, and Mouthwashing.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, what gotcha game is this?
Josh, what have you done?
Yeah, I was about to say that got Josh written all over it.
We're going to take it off, but I just want to note it because it is a Kickstarter RPG from, I think it was the original creators of Final Fantasy, if I remember right. And basically the cool thing about it is, I think so, yeah. But I think the main thing about it I wanted to call out was that they're like locations in the game, whether it's like a cave or a town or whatever. What they did is they made like a handmade model of it in the real world, and then they would like video capture it and everything before they like did the computer work to put like the video game characters in front of it.
Like it's rotoscoped?
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was really cool that they did that sort of technique with it, since you don't see that very often. But I think everything else about the game is nothing that would beat out anything else here.
Oh wow, that looks really cool.
That is really neat, actually. Shout
Yeah,
out
I
to
just shared I just put a picture in the podcast chat.
That's really fucking cool. We used to make I used to see models like that at Latin conventions, so that takes me back. I like that. So shout out to that. Okay, let's make this efficient, so we're not here until 2 a.m. Everyone's gonna get. We're gonna get 3. Nah. We're gonna get 2. We're gonna highlight top 2. We're highlighting the top 2. We gotta be this. We gotta be decisive about this, and I'll kick us off. The top 2 that I think I'm gonna go to the grave for: Kimitsugami, Path of the Goddess, and Harold Halibut. I have not played Harold Halibut, but I have seen it, and that is just enough for a look. All right, now, Graydon, I'll go back.
Can I go next, sir?
Oh yeah, you can go. You can go. Sure. Make it happen, Captain.
I was trying to do the scratchy voice teenager from The Simpsons.
I put it together. All right, what are your top 2?
Jutaro.
Okay.
And Plucky Squire.
All right. Plucky Squire, let's get it. All right, Graydon, I'll go ahead and get to you.
First, I want to apologize for this list being so big.
It's okay. We're gonna kill a lot of these right now.
This is I think our most nominees in any category where we said we were gonna narrow it down, and then there's just too much. It's good. There's a lot of good looking games.
A lot of great games this year. That's just how it rolls.
And I know that we've argued before, like it's not how like realistic, like it's not necessarily realism. It's like art style and animation style.
Yes.
And I think every single one of these gives something different, like in a really good way.
If you need some time, I can hit up Josh first.
I wanna say Harold Halibut as well.
Okay.
I just have a problem with the fact that no, I won't even say it. It's fine.
Is it something similar to my qualm with Grime?
I forget your qualm with Grime.
Oh, it's an Israeli-made product.
Oh, is Harold Halibut?
I don't know. I was asking.
No, I thought
it was that type
of something.
Of...
No,
yeah, that's what I thought.
My gripe, which I mean, I'm really not gonna die on this hill or anything, but Jutaro is very. I know that they look different. I get that, but in terms of they both are going for clay. I mean, Harold Halibut's clay, right?
Harold Halibut is fully claymation, on some Wallace and Gromit shit.
Yeah, and so is Jutaro. So it's just I don't know. In my mind, I want to be oh, Harold did it better, but I get that art is subjective, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I can go into depth on this, or into depth
briefly,
adjacent to, and briefly, yeah, abridged into depth, abridged style.
Indeed, make it happen.
Everything in Jutaro is obviously is handmade, or not handmade, is tactile or tactfully made. there's not a single thing in there that is via made via like programming or like via like
Computer.
character models and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is one person did all the made everything, and I shared with you guys the the video from the making of, which is like a few minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes long.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and it was it stemmed from feeling like games were going too far and too unrealistic in its look, or game with big AAA games with the way they were looking.
Yep.
And I can't speak on Harold Halibut. Like I never got a chance to play it because my the leg problems I've been having have have drained me both time wise and health wise.
Yeah.
So I can only speak to Judaro's stuff. So also I'm a sucker for stuff that celebrates Scottish myths and legends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as you guys know, I'm in the I've been I'm still learning like Gaelic and all that.
Indeed.
Okay, so I don't think I'm not gonna fight to get Judaro disqualified. I agree, it's fine.
Right. We're not at that level yet anyway. We're just shortening the list.
I think my other pick is gonna be Indica. I
Ah.
know that Indica has really muddy visuals at times and wonky animations, but at the end of the day, if you look at it as a full product, with that being its thing, there's some really beautiful looking set pieces, and even the people can look really realistic at times, and it's a really as a cohesive piece, it's a really good looking game.
Yeah. For as weird as that game gets, for everything to feel like it takes place within the same world,
Mhm.
like it's a very realistically styled game, but it's also you're seeing some wild shit in there, but it all makes sense within that realistic world. It's very interesting. So I agree that Indica is a good looking game. The reason I didn't vote for it is because I don't think the thing about Indica that you're gonna remember is how it looks. I think it helps in everything else that you will remember, but that's
Right.
not the main aspect. Um, but let me ask Josh, what do you think about this? What are your top 2 on this list?
Oh, this is the hardest one, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
appropriate is the
originally
final
my
one.
pick was going to be Harold Halibut,
Mhm.
and looking at it, I might actually go Judaro too.
Wow.
Wow. Damn. So this is looking like Harold Halibut, Judaro, and then another one. So
Emmett, can I change you from Kinitsugami to Indica?
before we get there, let me go ahead and delete all these other ones. So Crow County, gone. Tales of Kanzaru, gone. Um, let's see. Shim, gone. Still Wakes the Deep, Stellar Blade, Sinuous Saga, Hellblade 2.
I
Which
want
I
to
heard.
say
Yeah, go
shout
ahead.
out to Stellar Blade. That's a phenomenal looking game.
I can't wait to find out one day. Crazy that was one of my most anticipated games and I never played it.
So I just want to also say this, just not just I'm like I looked up Slow Bros, the developers of Harold Halibut.
Yep.
It was in development for 14 years.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I feel
Oh
terrible.
yeah.
I feel like
It's their first game.
yeah.
They were I was in high school when they started developing that game. I'm 30 now. So that tells
Speaking
you a
of
lot.
diorama type stop motion things, did y'all hear the creator of Thomas the Tank Engine died today?
Whoa,
No.
that's who died?
No.
Yesterday?
No. The creator of the main the series, the Reverend Wilbur Audrey, who's the actual creator of the Thomas the Tank Engine series, passed away long ago.
Okay, so like the
you're,
IP
you're,
owner died long
it was
ago. So this is the
yeah.
person who did the sets for the show.
No, the creator of the '80s or the series that basically gave everyone like a lot of like help or not help, yeah, help and like it just yeah.
Like the iconic show.
Brett Alfcroft is
Mm,
who died.
okay, because I just saw like pictures of a very old person next to like Thomas the Tank Engine, but I didn't
Yeah,
click the article.
that's Reverend Aldry. Or yeah,
Gotcha, gotcha. Damn, R.I.P. Man.
Oh
A lot
wait,
of
she didn't even die today. She died on Christmas. That's weirdly.
damn
That's even sadder, dude.
shit. Well,
R.I.P.
yeah. Well, she
there's
got the
actually
biggest gift of all, getting to leave this place.
there's so there's actually this I'm sorry to go. It's just going to be a very small tangent.
Okay.
There's actually a there's a quote unquote lost version of the pilot that she like financed
Hmm.
that is like no one like the I don't know who owns the IP of Thomas Tank Engine these days. Like currently, I think is it Hasbro or Mattel.
Potentially. To be honest, I have no idea, but that sounds
Warner
right.
Warner Brothers.
Oh God,
I
put a
don't
bullet in
know.
my brain if it's put a bullet in my brain if it's Warner Brothers.
It might be Sony because they reference
Mattel.
Thomas the Tank Engine a lot in Bullet Train, which is a Sony production.
Yeah, it was Mattel till 2021. I don't know about
Hmm.
now.
All right. We're veering off course.
Okay, okay.
Best look right now. So I took off. Also, shout out to mouthwashing. Mouthwashing looks incredible, but I don't think it holds a candle to the rest of these. Best look right now. We have the Puckley Squire, Harold Halibut, Judaro, Kamitsugami, Path of the Goddess, and Indica. Harold Halibut and Judaro are our top two. We can talk about how we want to arrange them, but I think that got the most votes just now, so that's gonna be top two. Now, the only other question here
I
is
I will if I'm allowed to just shout out Plucky Squire as a like if it I'll let you go I'll let that one die if I can just say my piece on why I have such feelings towards it.
please continue.
So Plucky Squire, the way it manages to capture the feeling of or the capture the look of being a children's like a children's fan like storybook and have that style and then transform into being a like going from the like the typical or not typical the regular like storyboard or story time like storybook stuff and
Mhm.
how it seamlessly can transform into like being 3D and how certain and like the meshing or the mending or the blending of different different formats of like illustration or different forms of illustration. Like there's a point where you get a bow and arrow or you need a bow and arrow for one of the boss for a boss battle,
Mhm.
and you have to get the bow and arrow from a like a Magic the Gathering esque type of card, and you're doing battle in the card like in the art of the trading card with the character who has the bow and arrow.
Yeah, I remember seeing that clip somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very impressive stuff.
and yeah, and like like in the just in the like in the earlier in the game,
Mhm.
you're having a boxing match within the storybook stuff with a gorilla,
Honey
and
Badger.
it's just yeah, sorry, yeah, honey badger, and it's incredible, and I never thought that like it brings it's one of those imaginative games that until you actually see it see it functioning and working or functioning and in motion and all that, you had no idea, you didn't think such a thing would be possible. in like the way that it's executed.
Mm-hmm. And I'll also back you up because Plucky Squire is one of those games where when I first saw it, the way it looked is what jumped out at me.
Yeah,
It,
and
it was very impressive.
as soon as I saw Lani Pator of Team 4 Star playing it on a Switch channel, I immediately sought it out and bought it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. And it's on PlayStation Plus, so if you want to try it there, you can. But yeah, it is a stunner as far as how it looks, but I just think there are some more stunning games on here. And because of that, I've deleted the Plucky Squire. Right now we're down to Harold Halibut, Judaro, Kumitsugami, and Indica. Now, Graydon, you're Team Indica. I'm Team Kumitsugami. Out of those two, Josh, which one are you leaning towards?
Well, having not played either of them, I'm kind of scouring like screenshots and everything to kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at here.
I'm gonna send you a trailer that you can look at on mute. Let me see here. So I'm gonna do Kumitsugami first because I think this is one of those like what's it called? This is like some 8 Mile shit where I'm gonna go first to just take away the wind out of your sails. Here you go. It's in the podcast chat one. And then I'm gonna find you a video of Indica as well. Because I love Indica. I might be going against Indica right now, but
Yeah, this
I
looks
like that game.
wow.
How does it look?
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah. Good shit. People remember this game. This is the game that they showed it off in the Xbox showcase like 2 or 3 years ago, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck is that? That looks incredible." And then it was gone for like a year and a half, and then it came back, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's Tower
That's
Defense."
yeah. That's a good way to like to make your like to make show every like tease what's to come or show what you have, and then arrive like completely arrive with everything you have.
Indeed.
Listen. Sorry, I didn't mute
And that,
myself for
no,
that.
no, I'm looking at Indica stuff, the Indica stuff now.
If I can, I'm gonna help you out a little bit, Graydon, because I know you're about to talk about Indica. Indica has style. I think that is the thing that Indica has, where yes, it's realistic, yes, it's grounded, but the way it uses its elements, it's more about how it does it
Okay,
rather than what it does.
okay, Indica.
Oh shit. God
Ah,
damn.
I saw the launch trailer. This is some creepy stuff.
All right, Graydon, what the fuck are you about to say?
I was gonna concede.
This looks like this looks like some Uncanny Valley stuff.
So Indica has some Uncanny Valley stuff, but I do agree with what you're saying about that not being exactly what you remember. I think Indica is gonna get some due in best narrative,
Oh hell yeah. I'll be there with you. I'll hold hands with you.
and I will take your hand and hold it tightly, Emmett. I will
Oh my god.
hold you
Okay.
in my embrace.
I think I gotta play Indica after this.
You
'Cause
absolutely do.
You-
We just
I
said
feel-
this.
I know, but
Sitting in a half.
yes, I know, but just
Had you not seen a trailer? Like you were just going
No,
off
I
of
was-
my recommendation?
yeah, I was going like I bought it without seeing any like without all I'd seen of Indica was the like
The yellow
no,
image.
yeah, like the image on Steam.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the
Dude.
library, the art on Steam, not even the art on Steam, just like when you go when you see it in your library, that little thing, that little screen like thing, because I'm like aside from like certain I'm rarely like I don't get notifications for like push notifications for Blue Sky, so
Mhm.
like I'm not really like I'm in my digital farm.
Yeah. So you're kind of isolated from being able to see that. But now that you have seen it,
Yeah.
hop on that so you can have a say in the
Yeah.
narrative.
Jeez, I feel like Bilbo in Hobbiton, just smoking the pipe, and then just suddenly Indica, the woman from Indica, is there.
Oh boy. Well, before we
Gandalf.
lock that in, Josh, I was trying to talk to you. see how you felt
So-
about things. What's your opinion on those two?
So looking through them, I think I might go with Kunitsugami over it. I don't know, just something about the animations and the way the colors pop and the like creature designs and everything. I would choose it over Indica, but Indica looks like more of a game I would want to play.
That's fair. I'll give you that. I understand that. But Kimitsugami is just dazzling. Kimitsugami is one of those games where it's the parents stop behind you effect. Like if I was playing similar to when I played Uncharted 2 and my dad passed behind me, it was like, that's a video game? They look like this now? Kimitsugami is the type of game where you're playing that your dad might stop by and be like, that's a video game? They look like this now? It is dazzling. It is vibrant, and all of that art design kind of feeds back into the gameplay. All that entire game is very cohesive, and I think a lot of its style and a lot of its art design is very cohesive in the gameplay as well. It all works together. Where Indica feels like it's just approximating real life and then starting to get weird after it's approximated real life. Where Kimitsugami is not trying to approximate real life at all. You don't even see faces in most of the game. It's really it's different, but it's really cool and really good. So yeah, Kimitsugami, yeah.
I want to cap off my concession with a fun YouTube interaction that I had.
All right,
May I read you this quick little comment thread?
go ahead, conceding Kamala.
Oh,
I know that's
So-
sad.
the GameSpot review for Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. Somebody wrote, "This is definitely a nostalgia for Okami fans." Which, yeah, I mean, hey, art style, there you go. That's what made me think of this. Like, I was like, you know what? It does look like Okami. To which I had written, in art style only. And someone wrote, 2 weeks, so this was 4 months ago.
Mhm.
And then 2 weeks ago, after the Game Awards, someone writes, "Do you feel dumb now?"
What?
And I said, "Why would I feel dumb? It is nostalgia in art style for Okami fans." To which he replied, "Because Okami too."
What the fuck?
And you know what? He's right. Like,
Holy
what the fuck do you even say to that? Like, how do you have to be so illiterate to understand what the fuck is going on there?
look, man, most people don't read for fun.
In terms of, yes, art style, let's give it to Kunitsugami because it looks like Okami.
Hell yeah. Also, fuck you. It's more than that, but yeah, I win, so I won't be mad. All right, so
I'm gonna tell you guys a funny aside after we're done with this because I don't want to say it on air, but
no problem.
it's something that I don't think like I think me and Josh, pretty sure me and Josh are the only ones out of the four here that know about it.
Okay, I look forward to hearing that. But real quick before we lock this down, is everyone happy with the order? Right now we have Halibut, Jutaro, Path of the Goddess. Is there a desire to mix Jutaro and switch it with Halibut, or are we content with where we're at?
Kind of okay with that.
Yeah, I think I am too.
All right. Sounds like the entire class, unless Al wants to say something now.
Hashtag ban the filibuster. So, which is code for I'm not gonna try to fight for this one.
All right, fair enough. With that being said, your winners for best look, sponsored by Hi-Fi Rush, are number 3, Kimitsugami Path of the Goddess, number 2, Jutaro, and number 1, Harold Halibut. Good looking out. And with that being said, we have finished all of the nominees for part 1 of Game of the Year 2024. And just to go through real quick with all the categories we decided today, what took so long? Your winners were South Park: The Stick of Truth from Al, Lily's Well from Josh, Pleh from Graydon, and Grime from Emmett. That's me. Biggest Gaming Stories, sponsored by Geoff Keighley. Number 3 was Yuzu Sued by Nintendo. Number 2 was Xbox's 360s. There are different their policy changes and layoffs and whatnot. And number 1, Concord being revealed, released, delisted, and the studio closing all in less than 5 months. Zeitgeist of the Year, sponsored by Baldur's Gate 3. Your winners were Black Myth Wukong, Helldivers 2, and Balatro. Biggest Fumble, sponsored by Starfield. Your winners were, or I guess your losers were, Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Star Wars Battlefront Collection Classic Collection. Is tired. I'm late. Wow. And number
Wow.
1, and number 1 was Concord. And Best Look, sponsored by Hi-Fi Rush. Number 3 was Kimitsugami Path of the Goddess. Number 2 is Jutaro. And number 1 is Harold Halibut. We did it, everybody. Good job, team. Very quickly, you're gonna see a couple of links in the bottom that are all jackpot. What do I normally say? Housekeeping. There we go. You're gonna see some housekeeping links down there. I forgot to make a doc for this recording, so you're just gonna see them. They'll be down there. But the main thing I want to point to: go to the site. Just go to the site. Click any page. VGU.tv. There's a cool new theme. It took me quite a while to figure out how to fix it, but it works, and I'm very happy with it, and we're all very happy about it. And check it out. It's a cool looking site, so give her a gander there. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank y'all all for hopping on. It's getting late, but we made it happen. Thank you, Josh, for hopping on here. Oh yeah. Oh, no problem. I'm just here. I'm just talking. Thank you, Al, for hopping on as well.
Good to be here.
Hell yeah, as always.
Don't pay no attention to the picture I posted.
I just saw it. I'm gonna have questions. And thank you, Graydon, for hopping on as well.
It's a pleasure. Anytime you need me, I'm there.
Yeah, I'll see you in Black Ops 6, you son of a bitch. Anywho, it's okay. We made up at the end with Kimitsugami. It's fine. We'll be getting
what a character arc.
Yeah, right. Dude,
Seriously, yeah.
All the venom that we had during the Blackout segment will be inverse when Indica comes around. Trust me. But anyway, that's enough for this episode. We'll see you in part 2 of the Game of the Year coverage, or Game of the Year awards coverage. It's our stuff. Anywho, we'll see you in part 2. Exactly, the deliberations. We'll see you in part 2. And as I always say, keep it real, keep it trill, and play on, playa. Peace out, y'all.
Got that game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, of the year, yeah. Game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, yeah. If they shoot